Chapter 76, Walter's Choice. Chapter 76, Walter's Choice. Walter. Failai was overjoyed, but the next moment, she grew hesitant. This big dog before her eyes looked very similar to Walter, but Walter couldn't be so energetic. Walter wasn't this big either. He had lost weight dramatically before due to the cancer. He wasn't even 25 pounds before. The big dog here now was more than twice Walter's weight. However, there was those eyes, the close and familiar gaze. Failai was still hesitant. Was this really Walter? Chen, do you need help? Leonardo came over too. Walter. Failai could only see Walter now. Woof. Walter had already run over to Failai, licking her hand. You're really Walter? You didn't die? Woof. Miss Failai, what are you doing to my Walter? Your Walter? You thief. You stole Walter. I'm going to report you. When did I steal your Walter? Isn't this enough proof? Failai said, pointing at the dog. I have a pet's permit for it. Can you produce a permit for your Walter? I thought Walter had died, so I canceled it already. Why do you think your Walter died? It had cancer and my colleague said that he put it down. Look, does it look like it has cancer? You're that doctor. You cured Walter? Leonardo, do you believe her? You think I can cure a dog's cancer? Zhao still refused to admit it. I don't care how you healed Walter, but he still recognizes me. You saw Hemi. He knows me. Walter, do you know Leonardo? Walter ran over to Leonardo and licked his palm. See, it's friendly to everyone. No, that's different. It looks at me differently. Please, Miss Failai, get out of my house if you can't produce evidence that I stole your dog. I don't welcome crazy women that accuse me of stealing dogs. Why did you name it Walter? Or is it its original name? Leonardo, am I not allowed to name my dog? Of course you can. Miss, if there's nothing else, please leave this home, Leonardo said unkindly. I'm not going unless Walter is going with me. If you insist on making a scene, I can only take you to the station. In Leonardo's opinion, Failai was just throwing a fit. He was more willing to believe in Chen Zhao. After all, Failai had said that her dog had cancer and had been put down. It wasn't enough proof that Chen Zhao's dog had the same name as hers. Leonardo, you're Gerlin from the crime squad? He finally noticed that Gerlin was there. You're not needed here. Chen and I will take care of this. Okay, Chen, I'm leaving. Chen Zhao didn't know what Gerlin was planning. Chen and this Miss Failai, I don't know if this dog is your Walter, but it seems to like you. I think you can let it choose between you or Chen. Gerlin, is this necessary? Chen looked at Gerlin, not knowing whether to cry or laugh. This respects everyone here, right, Chen? Fine, let it choose. You two go stand over there. Walter, come here. Walter obediently ran over to Gerlin. She bent down and patted the dog's head. Walter, do you want to go with Chen or Failai? Choose now. Gerlin pointed at Chen Zhao and Failai who were standing next to each other. Walter cocked its head, staring at the two. It didn't really understand Gerlin. Walter, will you choose me or her? Chen Zhao repeated. Walter, you remember me, right? We fought alongside each other. Failai stared anxiously at Walter. The dog stayed beside Gerlin, not choosing anyone. I don't think it made a choice, Chen Zhao said, but I believe that it's more willing to be with his owner instead of an unfamiliar woman. It didn't choose. Why do you say it's more willing to be with you? Failai refuted. Because this is its home and it has friends. Then Chen Zhao called, Beelzebub, Carrie. Beelzebub and Carrie ran out. Walter immediately started playing with them. See, I can't find any reason why it would want to leave me and its friends, Chen Zhao said grandly. Failai was furious. I think I have someone who can prove that this is Walter. She called Robio and put him on speaker. Robio, I'm at Chen's house. Come here. Chen Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Failai was setting up a trap for Robio. Chen? Which Chen? Robio asked. Chen Zhao's heart came back down. Thankfully, Robio wasn't stupid and reacted quickly. You're still lying to me? Walter didn't die. You didn't kill her. You gave her to Chen, right? Fei Lai, Walter's already dead. Why can't you accept this? It's already dead. It had cancer and couldn't get better. Robio, Fei Lai growled with clenched teeth. If you keep lying to me, our friendship is over. Fei Lai, I'm sorry. Robio's reply was extremely calm. Walter is already dead. I can accept it if you blame me for killing it, but can you please accept the fact that it's already dead? I don't believe you. I won't accept it. No matter if you accept it or not, it's the truth. Kanan patted Fei Lai's shoulder. Let's go. He was more willing to support Fei Lai, but logically, he still believed Chen Zhao. After all, it wasn't a big deal to have two dogs with the same name. Plus, he felt like Fei Lai's Walter was indeed dead already. It was just that Fei Lai wasn't willing to accept the truth. That was why she insisted that Chen Zhao's dog was hers. I will find evidence. Gritting her teeth, Fei Lai glared at Chen Zhao. I will expose your true nature and let everyone know that you're a shameless thief. Please don't come harass me before you find evidence. Otherwise, I'll call the cops. Chen Zhao closed the door but felt coldness behind him. He could fool the entire world, but not Zhao. Can you explain what's going on? Chapter 77. Back to Work. Chapter 77. Back to Work. Walter can't live for long, so he has to stay with me. Only I can extend his life. Chen Zhao started to lie. You heard for yourself that it has cancer. You know what this means. Robio asked me to save Walter. I've been trying my best to extend his life, but if he leaves me, he'll be sick before long. Do you want to see how the disease has tortured him just half a month ago? Taking in a deep breath, Zhao said, You should explain this to that girl. Didn't you see her attitude? Her wild attitude towards Walter. Do you think she would allow Walter to leave her? But she views Walter as her kin. Isn't it cruel for you to strip Walter from her? Fine. What would you do if you were me? Let it return to its original master, and then die in suffering and pain, or let it stay here, so that it can run and play freely. At least it wouldn't be tortured by the disease. Chen Zhao sounded all righteous. Zhao fell silent for a while. I don't know. I only feel that this is unfair for her. Fei Lai charged into the HQ of the Coastal Rescue Team and shouted at Robio, You lied to me. You lied. That's Walter. Walter's not dead. The members around her were all perplexed. What's Fei Lai saying? Robio's face darkened. All of you, go out. Slightly shocked, the other members all left the office. Are you guilty now? That is Walter. Robio took in a deep breath. Answer me. Do you want Walter to be alive? Of course. I want it to be alive more than anyone else, so when I found out that it's still alive, I'm happier than anyone else. Chen can extend Walter's life. You saw it for yourself. Walter has regained his vigor beside Chen, but what would happen if it leaves Chen? Do you know what will happen to it? Have you ever thought about it? Robio stared at Fei Lai with a gloomy look. You only care about whether Walter belongs to you, but you've never cared for Walter itself? If you want Walter to live, just give up. Perhaps you can go and visit it, but don't try to snatch it away. Robio was very satisfied with Chen Zhao, who had fulfilled his promise. He had indeed restored Walter's energy. Therefore, Robio had to fulfill his promise too. At least, he must not let Fei Lai destroy their agreement. If possible, he hoped that he could keep this a secret forever, even if he would be accused of being a murderer. However, Fei Lai still managed to find out the truth. He could only tell her everything in an attempt to persuade her. Fei Lai sat down on the chair in disappointment, her eyes staring blankly in front of her. I'll give you 2 days to rest and relax. Use this opportunity to think over it. Chen Zhao spent 2 days with Zhao and did nothing else, apart from a picnic the previous day and having their usual bed activities. After the 2 days, Zhao left Chen Zhao again. Just like what they had promised, when they needed each other, they would be like a couple. For the rest of the time, they would only be friends. Chen Zhao was also back to work and called Ethan himself. Ethan, you have a job for me? Chen, what a surprise that you called me yourself. I thought that you've already forgotten about your job. I only took 2 days off. Fine. Lucky for you, I have a job at hand. Street 98, flat number 521. But the pay isn't high, only $1,000. Do you want it?
Yes.
Zhao tidied himself up, after which he left with Beelzebub, Raymond, and Carrie. Just then, he saw Mary walk towards him with some grilled bacon and ham. Chen, are you going out? Yes, I'm going to work. A patient is waiting for me. Here's some bacon and ham I've just made. Thanks. No, I should be the person to thank you. You saved Kin. I'm a doctor. Saving people is my job. After chatting briefly with Mary, Zhao took the bacon and ham and returned to his house. However, he could only eat them after coming back. Leaving his house again, he saw Vincent at the next road junction. Chun, where are you going? Street 98. On their way, Zhao received a call from the agency. Hello, Mr. Chun. I'm Hister. Do you still remember me? I was the agent when you signed the rental agreement. Of course. Hi, Mr. Hister. How can I help you? You said that you're looking for a housemate, right? Yes, and I also said that I only want a beautiful female housemate. Of course. A lady told me that she likes your house. Are you willing to share it with her? Do you think she's beautiful? Of course. From my aesthetic judgment, she can very well become a Hollywood star. Is she single? Yes, she said that she lives alone. No problem then. Rent the house to her. Don't you want to come here and see your housemate first? I'll have the chance later anyway. As long as it's a beautiful lady, I wouldn't mind. Chun, I really envy you. You're always so lucky. This isn't luck. This is the charm of the Eastern people. I don't believe in that. Your housemate hasn't even seen you. Perhaps she just happens to need a housemate. Everyone has his or her own unique aura, and the auras between different people would attract or repel each other too. Come on, you're a doctor, not a spiritualist. Vincent rolled his eyes. Vincent, do you think I should buy a gift for my housemate whom I've never seen? Anything will do as long as you don't give yourself to her. You're just jealous. Yes, I am indeed jealous of you. I should go and learn medicine too. Don't force yourself. Cab driver is a promising job as well. Bastard. We're at Street 98. $88 in total. Do you need me to wait here? Nope. I'll call you if I need you. Usually, Zhao would call a cab himself to go home, unless it was late into the night. The street was filled with condos on both sides. Zhao found the house of his client. He rang the doorbell. After a while, the door opened. A beefy man who was over 9 meters tall had opened the door. He was half naked and his muscles were comparable to those of a bodybuilder. His body was filled with sweat, and he looked like he had been exercising. I'm a doctor. I was told that I have a patient here. The man made way. Come in. Chapter 78, Track Runner. Chapter 78, Track Runner. The man was the only one in the apartment. Looking at him, Zhao asked, Excuse me, are you my patient? Are you really a doctor? The man looked Zhao with suspicion. I don't look like one. Do doctors all bring so many pets with them? I'm sorry. This is my personal habit. I bring my kids with me no matter where I go. I'm Rufford. Then he added, You're a traditional Chinese doctor, right? Yes. I'm an expert in traditional Chinese medicine, but I also know Western medicine. If you have unique needs, I can give you unique treatment. Rufford picked up a towel to wipe his sweat. While wiping, he said, I'm a sprinter. Half a month ago, I had a race, but I fractured my leg during it. I went through rehab, but I never got a reply for the medicine I requested from the International Association of Athletics Federation. Zhao looked down. He saw that Rufford's left calf was wrapped with gauze. It had obvious swelling. You know, without the IAAF's permission, I don't even dare to use morphine to numb the pain. Zhao nodded. As a doctor, he knew many things. However, since this athlete had gotten hurt during the competition, it shouldn't be hard to get permission to use medicine, right? Recently, a few well-known American athletes were discovered to be using steroids, so the IAAF suddenly became strict toward American athletes. When the club's doctor diagnosed me, He told me it's just a slight fracture and I don't need painkillers. Zhao walked over. Can I check your injury? Rutherford nodded. So Zhao sat onto the ground and undid the gauze. His calf had swollen at least 30% larger than usual. There was heavy blood stasis at the injury. Zhao squeezed the area. Does it hurt? Yes. How long has it been? What kind of treatment did you go through? It's been 15 days. The club's doctor gave me bone reduction treatment and some medicine for circulation. But since I don't have the paperwork for special medicine, he couldn't prescribe many things. Zhao furrowed his brows. Does the doctor hate you? Taken aback, Rutherford looked at Zhao in confusion. What do you mean? Your fibula is broken. If you don't treat it in time, you might not be able to walk regularly, let alone continue your athletic career. This isn't a fracture. Your problem is more serious than what you said. What? Broken? Rutherford was shocked. It's that bad? Yes. Right now, you shouldn't be thinking about getting permission from the IAAF to use medication. You have to get surgery as soon as possible so there aren't any lasting effects, but you've already delayed it for half a month. You've done intense exercise this past half month too, right? Your condition is looking bad now. Then what should I do? Hurry to the hospital, Zhao said. I can't help you. All I can do is give you advice. If I go to the hospital, how long will it take before I can start competing again? You'll need at least half a year of rehab. No, that's impossible. I have to participate in the Star Invitational. Do you know how important it is to me? That's the Star Invitational. For an athlete like me, it might be the time that I shine the brightest. I can't miss it. Rutherford grew agitated. He grabbed onto Zhao's shoulder. Please help me. I'm sorry. I'm powerless against your injury. Go to the hospital. If you keep dragging it out, you won't be able to save your legs. Zhao sighed. Rutherford had obviously been scammed by the team's doctor. Anyone who could be the doctor of an athletic team would obviously know the difference between a fracture and broken bone. Going to the hospital for a surgery was Rutherford's only choice now. Go to the hospital if you want to continue your career. Do you have a way to suppress my injury? Stop kidding around. You have a broken bone. There's no way I can suppress it. What you need is treatment and rehab. Zhao left. Rutherford was a very insistent athlete. He didn't know if Rutherford would listen to his advice. However, Zhao wished he would. As an illegal doctor, Zhao wished he could make as much money as possible. But as a doctor, he still had his own professionalism and bottom line. He hoped that all of his patients would have the correct treatment and best result. If Rutherford hadn't been harmed by his doctor, then he would at least be able to get treated in time. He wouldn't have needed half a year of rehab. He would have been able to be up and running in less than a month. However, he delayed it for half a month, making his injury worse. Rutherford wasn't a superstar athlete yet. He wasn't famous, so he'd probably been invited to the Star Invitational because he'd had good results in recent competitions. Most track athletes could only dream about attending a Star Invitational. If they could have a good result there, they would have a higher rank internationally. Not only that, they may have a chance to attend the IAAF Golden League. That was the highest stage for a track athlete. Every industry has its good and bad, but most people only saw the good side. Athletes like Rutherford had a bit of fame, but were still far from being a celebrity. Instead of going home, Zhao went to Ethan's. How was it? Did you solve the patient's problem?
No.
Zhao shook his head. He needs the hospital. Even you can't solve it? Is the problem serious? No. He was just harmed by someone and delayed the treatment period. So you didn't make a single cent for me and still came to get free lunch? Don't make me sound that bad. I didn't make a single cent either, and I had to pay for transportation too. If you won't give me lunch, then reimburse my transportation. Just then, Ethan's phone rang. He put it down less than 20 seconds later. Chen, seems like you can't eat lunch anymore. Remember your first client? Yeah, super annoying patient. Yes, he needs help. What's the price? $3,000? I'll go after lunch. No, he's in a hurry. Fine, leave a hamburger for me. $1. If you reject my request, I'll reject this patient and you'll lose $600. You stingy asshole. Chapter 79. Treating a Pervert and Treated as a Pervert. Chapter 79. Treating a Pervert and Treated as a Pervert. Zhao could still vividly recall that impotent bastard. Zhao entered Dell's manor again, which was still in debauch. On his way in, he received occasional winks from sexy and bold girls. Sura walked to Zhao to welcome him. Chen, you're finally here. Where's Dell? What happened to him again? I don't care about that idiot. How about we have a drink instead? Sura was only wearing a black bra on top, and she was holding a glass of wine. Let me see Dell first. To Zhao, Dell and Sura were just a promiscuous couple. Sura still brought Zhao into the villa when he saw Dell facing the wall fully naked. On the wall, there was also a poster of a female star. Zhao rubbed his forehead. Dell, I'm here. How may I help you? I'm stuck. Zhao walked to Dell's side and saw Dell's rod stuck in the wall. Looking at the female star poster on the wall, Zhao could roughly tell what had happened. Zhao had seen people with various tastes before, even many who liked bestiality. However, he had never seen a person who could face a poster and get himself stuck in the wall. Mr. Dell, how long have you been stuck? About an hour. Can you be faster? Actually, I've stuck for 3 hours already. 3 hours? Zhao was astonished by the number. Ignoring those so-called world records, 99% of the men in the world could not maintain an erection for 3 hours, including Zhao. Was Dell really gifted? Zhao doubted this. He could tell that Dell was weak based on their last checkup. It would be difficult for him to even maintain it for half an hour, let alone 3 hours. I ate some medicine. Fine. $3,000, please. Given that our previous session wasn't great, I've decided that I'll take my pay first, Zhao said emotionlessly. Please. Zhao was not in a hurry at all. Sura, can you get me some food? Sura was not concerned about Dell's situation at all. In fact, their relationship was very similar to the one between Zhao and Zhirlin. Sura would only gloat over Dell's foolish action. Fine. Sura, give him 3,000. Quick. Chen, here you are. Count it. Give me that poster too. By the way, what's the female star on the poster called? Dell had ants in his pants at the moment. Suddenly, however, he felt some coldness on his feet. Lowering his head, he saw a huge snake climbing up his leg. Dell immediately stepped back in shock. Is it that scary? Raymond, you've seen him before. Zhao sat on the sofa and put his hand on Sura's shoulders. That's so frightening. I'm out? Dell still looked dazed. So easy, right? Your problem is settled. I'm leaving. Are you leaving so soon? Chen, stay here. I'll call a few more women, and Sura as well. Let's play together. Forget it. Zhao shook his head. He really did not dare to touch the women here. Although he had gone for Rasfa's erotic party before, those women had been carefully selected, and perhaps even been medically examined. Even so, Zhao had still chosen to wear condoms. On the other hand, Zhao really did not know what diseases the women here had. Zhao did not want to get infected for no reason. Most STIs were not fatal, but they would greatly affect Zhao's health. They were troublesome to treat, and more importantly, they would hinder Zhao's work. Although Zhao wanted to relax here, his rationality still won over his desire after some consideration. Dell sent Zhao to the gates. Chen, can you charge me less next time? If you do less stupid things, you wouldn't even need to pay. Fine. Can you return me that poster? No. To prevent you from doing such things again, I'll take it away. This poster is worth $400. Don't throw it away. I wouldn't. I'll put it on the wall in my bedroom. As Zhao walked out from the residence, he looked at the woman on the poster. He could not recall what characters the female star had acted before. Nevertheless, she was really beautiful. Zhao licked his lips. Suddenly, Zhao felt something bump into him. Lifting his head, he saw the woman on the poster right before him. She was wearing a pair of extreme high-heeled shoes. Her lips were flame red, and she had a pair of aviator sunglasses on. Never had Chen Zhao seen a woman whose body was so perfect. She had the most excellent body proportions. Her long legs would make most women feel inferior and drive all men crazy. The woman glanced at the poster in Chen Zhao's hands impatiently. That's troublesome. Give me the poster. Huh? What? The woman snatched the poster from Chen Zhao and was ready to autograph. However, when she looked at the poster, she saw the hole at the bottom. Pervert! The woman was immediately enraged. She squeezed the poster into a ball and flung it at Chen Zhao's face. If you come and harass me again, I'll call the police. Chen Zhao rubbed his cheek, which was still in pain due to the impact. However, he did not chase the woman and explain himself. How could he explain such a misunderstanding? It feels like being bitten by a dog for no reason just after leaving home. Woof. Don't accuse us for that. Chen Zhao shrugged his shoulders. Just then, he received a call from Ethan again. Chun, are you done with the patient? Yup. Where are you now? I just left the patient's house. So you're still in that neighborhood? At the exit, I received another request. The patient is there too. I'll give you the address. After receiving the address, Chen Zhao turned around and walked back into the neighborhood. Chen Zhao compared the address he had received to the door plate. Number 0355. Should be here. Ding dong. The door to the apartment opened. It was the same woman he had met earlier. Chen Zhao's cheek twitched. The woman looked at Chen Zhao in both disgust and anger. I said that if you continue to harass me, I'll call the police. I'm not a pervert. A pervert would clearly not admit it. I'm a doctor. Someone told me that I have a patient here. You're a doctor? Yes. Show me your license. Are you looking for a doctor with a medical license? The woman thought for a while, and then looked at Walter, Beelzebub, and Carrie, who were beside Chen Zhao. Do doctors always bring so many pets to their patient's place? You're not the first client to ask me that question. Chapter 80. I'm not a pervert. Chapter 80. I'm not a pervert. Come in. But if you do anything to me, I'll bust your balls. The woman was still guarded against Chen Zhao. You're the one who needs a doctor. It's me. Where do you feel discomfort? The woman hesitated. She stared at Chen Zhao as if unwilling to speak. After all, she still saw Chen Zhao as a pervert who'd held her poster. I've seen many diseases during my career, so you don't have to worry about me judging you for some embarrassing condition. There's no need. After another pause, the woman finally spoke. Do you promise you won't tell people? This is probably why you chose an illegal doctor, right? We also have the rule of keeping our patients' conditions confidential. My boyfriend discovered he had STDs before he broke up with me. Recently, I feel itchy down there, and there are a lot of small red dots. I don't know if I got infected too. The woman studied Chen Zhao's expression closely, but he was undisturbed. Did you wear a condom when you had sex with him? Yes. If you had condoms, then you should be less likely to get infected. Can you describe what it looks like in detail? Should I take off my pants to show you? If you're willing, I can diagnose you more accurately by looking with my own eyes. This woman didn't have many taboos. After revealing her condition, she opened up and took her pants off right before Chen Zhao. He looked without using his hands. It's not STDs and just an infection. You can use some over-the-counter cleansers. It's nothing serious. Of course, if you're not sure, you can do a full check at the hospital. The results should be like what I said, though. Hearing his reply, the woman let out a long sigh of relief. Then, can I put my pants on now? Yes. Can you prescribe some medicine? I told you. You don't need medicine or prescriptions for the cleanser. You can just buy it. I can't go buy it. Well, I don't have any with me. Aren't you a celebrity? Don't you have assistants? I haven't had time yet. I just got to America. You aren't a Hollywood celebrity? You don't know me? You were holding my poster earlier. Would you believe me if I say that poster isn't mine? I'm from Australia. My name is Lucy. I'm pretty famous in Australia, but I'm only a rookie in Hollywood. You can call me Chun. I'm from China. Sorry about what happened. It's okay. If you can't buy a cleanser now, I can prescribe some Chinese medicine to get rid of the bacteria. Okay, please prescribe some. Lucy was very relieved after learning she was okay. For foreign celebrities like her, developing in Hollywood was already very difficult. If she had a scandal, such as having STDs, she could basically bid farewell to the circle. It wasn't just Hollywood. She might not be able to get rid of this scandal even in her own country. Go to a Chinese pharmacy and have the staff get the ingredients from this prescription. Even if other people get this list, it'll still be hard to distinguish what it's for. Thank you. Lucy looked at Chen Zhao. What else do you need? Chen Zhao's eye twitched. The payment. Was this girl so full of herself that she forgot about his? Oh, I'm sorry. How much do I have to pay you? $1,000. That expensive?
Yes.
Chen Zhao didn't refute it. It was just that expensive. Lucy was a celebrity, so $1,000 wasn't much. But no matter where one went, that money for a doctor's visit was super expensive. Lucy had some money, but this was still a considerable expense for her. After handing $1,000 to Chen Zhao, she said, "Can it be cheaper next time?" "No, I'm sorry." Chen Zhao accepted the money with a smile. "I don't decide the price." Chen Zhao returned to Ethan's motel and tossed him $800. Ethan counted the cash happily. Chen Zhao glanced at him. "Why are you counting? You think I'll cheat you?" "You don't understand. I'm not trying to count the money. I'm enjoying the process." "Wait, I think you're missing $10. You must have counted incorrectly. Where's my dinner?" "Auntie Lee, is dinner ready?" "You want to get free food from me again? Don't change the topic. I'm missing $10. "Count again." Another call came while Chen Zhao and Ethan were eating dinner. "Hi, I'm Ethan. Mr. Ethan, the suit you rented from us is 2 days overdue. When will you return it?" "Oh, there's a $100 fine too." "What?" Ethan yelled. "You want $100 just because it's 2 days overdue? Are you a dress shop? Are you sure you're not robbers?" "If you have any questions or suggestions, please call the complaint number." "What's the complaint number?" "I'm going to report you." "It's this number." "Oh, the customer service is me too." Ethan hung up in anger. "Chen, return my suit when you go home. It's not along the way. You can drive to the shop first, but that would be $30 more for Vincent. You get free food and drinks here every day. You've eaten at least $100, and you're still shameless enough to get hung up over $30? "Yes, I'm shameless." In the end, Chen Zhao still took the suit and went out of his way to the shop. When he got there, he brought the suit in. "Hey, beauty, we meet again. You're the one returning it? Where's that perverted fatty? He doesn't want to hear you judging him like that, so he had me return it." Chen Zhao glanced in the store. "Where's Chris? Is she not working today?" "She quit." "She quit?" "Yeah, yesterday. I felt like she was strange. When she looked at me, she was like a poisonous snake. You might think I'm joking, but I really feel like Chris turned into something scary." Chen Zhao furrowed his brows. "If there's nothing else, I'll get going. Bye." "Bye. Call me when you're free. I like boys like you." Chen Zhao walked out with a heavy heart. He still remembered how lost and panicked Chris had been. Did she run into trouble? Chapter 81. There is a death sentence in California. Chapter 81. There is a death sentence in California. After thinking over it, Chen Zhao still went to Chris's place. They were not friends on the spiritual level or the physical level, but it was the first time Chen Zhao had rejected a woman who had asked to sleep with him. Firstly, Chris had a boyfriend with whom she was already engaged. Chen Zhao did not want to destroy their relationship. Even if everything could be kept a secret, it would still make him feel uneasy. Moreover, Chris was somewhat emotionally unstable at that point. She did not necessarily want to sleep with Chen Zhao. After Chen Zhao had broken up with his ex, he had gone for online dating a few times. There was once he encountered precisely such an awkward situation. They were about to go to bed when she suddenly said, "I don't feel it anymore. Can I just use my hand?" Chen Zhao would have replied with a no if he was not afraid of being sued for rape. Nonetheless, if Chen Zhao had known earlier that Chris was going to break up with her boyfriend the second day, he would have agreed to Chris's request that night. Chen Zhao was not too picky about women. Perhaps it was only because he had a very low bottom line. Firstly, he wanted the woman to be clean and free of illnesses. Secondly, he would always wear condoms, which would benefit both parties. He did not agree that condoms would reduce the level of satisfaction. One could always use Durex Extra Thin. Chen Zhao also did not have any requirements for age. For example, he had accepted Zola, who was well over 40. Zola had maintained a good shape. Although she usually looked dignified and virtuous, she was much better than ordinary girls in bed. Moreover, she knew how to adore her bedmate and was willing to cooperate with any posture. Of course, the most important thing was that Chen Zhao did not dislike her. In the cab, Chen Zhao kept thinking about this and that. Since Chris had already broken up with her boyfriend, Chen Zhao might be able to have some exchange with her. Anyway, Chen Zhao had never planned to have a proper relationship or thought of marriage and having children. Chen Zhao walked to Chris's door and knocked. "Chris, are you there?" Only a long silence awaited Chen Zhao. He took 2 steps back and looked into the house through the windows. The lights were off. It was already past 7 p.m. Since the lights were off, Chen Zhao guessed that Chris was not at home. "Are you Chris's friend?" Chen Zhao turned his head around and saw a middle-aged man. "Are you Chris's relative?" "I'm her neighbor. I live in the next-door house," the middle-aged man said, pointing at the house beside. "Hi, I'm Chris's friend. Do you know where she is?" "I saw her come back past 5 p.m. and she didn't go out, so she should still be at home," the middle-aged man said. "She's home?" "Yup, but I think she's in a bad mood." "Is it?" "Yes. She just went to her boyfriend's funeral." "Huh. I heard that she broke up with her boyfriend. Is her boyfriend dead?" "That's right. He jumped off the roof of a tall building." "Is Chris going to do something stupid?" Chen Zhao said worriedly as he looked at the dark room. "Should we enter through the windows?" "I think that we should call the police," Chen Zhao replied. Suddenly, however, the middle-aged man took out a gun and pointed at Chen Zhao. It was already dark and there was no one around, so the middle-aged man was not worried that he would be noticed. "What are you doing?" "Nothing. You only came at the wrong time," the middle-aged man said. However, the next moment, Walter leaped towards the middle-aged man and bit his wrist. Bang! Luckily, Chen Zhao managed to dodge the bullet. It was really a close one. Unlike most movies, there would be more than just a bullet hole on him if he was hit at such a close range. In fact, being shot at such a close range would very likely damage his limbs and muscles severely. The middle-aged man was no match for Walter at all. His wrist was already covered in blood, and his gun had dropped onto the ground. He could not even run away. After kicking the gun away, Chen Zhao subdued the middle-aged man with Walter. Then, he called the police, who only reached after 20 minutes. This time, they were not those whom Chen Zhao already knew. They should be from another branch in Los Angeles. There were a total of 4 police, and they saw Chen Zhao press the middle-aged man onto the ground. Immediately, they pointed their guns at Chen Zhao. "Don't move." Chen Zhao said helplessly, "Buddy, I was the one who called the police." "What happened? Explain now." "I came here to find my friend whose boyfriend had just passed away, I think. I was worried that she's going to do something foolish, so I planned to call the police to check her house. Then, this man pointed his gun at me, after which he was bitten by my dog. So I managed to subdue him and call you." "Walter, bring them the gun." Walter picked up the gun from the ground and dropped it near the police. A police walked up and handcuffed the middle-aged man. Then, they sent the man onto the police car. "You need to come to the police station with us too. Buddy, can you go in and check on my friend? I'm worried that something has happened to her." "Spike, there's signs of intrusion here." A police discovered that one of the windows was broken. It was just enough for a person outside to stick his hand in and open the door. "Go in and check the house." The police bumped the door open directly and then turned on the lights. They checked every corner of the house, but there was nobody. "Are you sure your friend's at home?" "I don't know. That man said that she came back and didn't leave." Unable to find Chris, Chen Zhao could only follow the police back to the station. A police made a written report for Chen Zhao, but he still could not leave. After another 2 hours of boring waiting, a police finally walked in. "You can leave now? Buddy, can you tell me what had happened?" "He's a pervert. We saved a girl from his house and discovered the clothes of at least 10 girls. According to his statements, he originally intended to enter your friend's house at night, just like how he had managed to get his other prey. However, your arrival made him feel that he can accuse you. As long as you enter your friend's house, leave your fingerprints, and then he kills you, he could create false evidence to suggest that you fled to escape punishment. However, you chose to call the police, so he could only point his gun at you in an attempt to force you into the room." "So you're saying he's killed over 10 girls? "Yes, so you've done us a great favor. There's the death sentence in California, right?" "That's my thought as well. I promise you that pervert is dead for sure." The police patted Chen Zhao's shoulder. "Thank you for helping us to solve a major problem. By the way, do you have news about my friend?" "Not for now, but I will take note of it for you. Leave your number here. If we receive any news, we'll inform you. Of course, if you discover anything, you can tell us too." "Sure." Chapter 82. I'm actually a spiritualist. Chapter 82. I'm actually a spiritualist. Chen Zhao realized someone was following him as soon as he left the police station. It was a 20-something-year-old woman holding hands with a girl. Chen Zhao thought they were just going the same way, but they followed him to an intersection. They would stop whenever Chen Zhao stopped. They just followed him without hiding themselves at all. Unable to take it anymore, Chen Zhao turned around and faced the mother and daughter. "Do I know you? You can see us?" "What?" Chen Zhao was taken aback. "What do you mean, see us?" The next moment, it clicked in Chen Zhao's mind. "You guys are ghosts? We're under the oak tree beside St. Anthony Church." Chen Zhao was still confused. He had met spirits before, but the ones that he'd seen were all wooden and dazed. This duo didn't look like those spirits at all. They were just like living people. Were they victims of that pervert? Did they want him to find their bodies and bury them? Chen Zhao ran back to the police station. "Excuse me, Mr. Chen, why are you back? Did you forget something? Can I see the profiles of the pervert's victims? Technically, we can't reveal them. We haven't found their identities either, because we haven't found most of the bodies." The officer paused. "However, you're one of the involved parties, so I can show you. But can you tell me what you need it for? Is there a mother and daughter pair among the victims?" The mother is around 30 years old, a brunette. The daughter is around 11 or 12. Just then, an exhausted-looking man walked out of the questioning room. Happening to hear Chen Zhao's words, he immediately rushed over. "Who are you? Why do you know Amanda and my daughter?" The police officer looked at Chen Zhao in confusion. He wouldn't believe it if someone suspected Chen Zhao. After all, he'd already inspected Chen Zhao. He'd just arrived in America, but he had a good record. He'd even saved 9 people from a fire recently, so the officer still believed in him. "Mr. Chen, can you explain this?" At that moment, the lights suddenly dimmed. Chen Zhao looked at the duo beside him. It was the daughter that had turned off the lights. Would you believe me if I say, I'm a spiritualist?" Chen Zhao said awkwardly. The officer was awkward too. He didn't believe it, but he couldn't say that. "I do. I believe you. Sir, please tell me. Are they beside you right now?" Chen Zhao nodded with difficulty. "Yes, they're here. Mr. Chen, Mr. Board has just received the news that his wife and daughter may possibly have been killed. Please don't upset him anymore." A cup of water on the table fell down without warning. The police and Board were both shocked. How could it just fall down for no reason? The water inside started moving orderly, writing out, "We are here. We are here." Board and the officer were shocked. The officer even fell to the ground. Actually, Chen Zhao really didn't want to act like a spiritualist, but there was a lot of religious freedom in America. There were a lot of religions that believed in ghosts and spirits too. Due to all the paranormal and supernatural movies, a lot of people believed in them too. Many so-called spiritualists appeared proudly on all sorts of platforms. Even the media would invite some well-known spiritualists for interviews. Of course, No one would send a spiritualist to an experiment lab for dissection. What happened? What's going on? When the officers outside heard the noise, they all ran in. Seeing their colleague sitting on the ground, they thought he'd been attacked. This was a police station, after all. Sometimes, criminals would attack the interrogator. A ghost. There's a ghost? David, are you too stressed out? No, I'm serious, David said nervously. That Mr. Chen's a spiritualist. Mr. Chen, tell them, it's true. I'm just a part-time spiritualist. My main job is still a doctor. That's not important. Tell them that Mr. Board's wife is here. The police officers from outside all looked at Chen Zhao, who hesitated. They're here. The fallen cup suddenly floated up and approached Chen Zhao and the officers. In the end, it lost balance and fell to the ground, shattering. All the officers felt chills go up their spines. They were freaked out. Don't be scared. They're not evil spirits. They want me to help find them. The other stuff have nothing to do with me. Amanda, Aisha, I love you too. Mr. Chen, can they hear me? They couldn't. They could see Board but couldn't hear him. It seemed that they could only communicate with Board through Chen Zhao. The other officers looked at Chen Zhao as he repeated Board's words to the air. Your daughter asks if you can help her take care of Alan. Board's face was covered tears. Aisha, I will. I'll help you take care of Alan. I'll take it out for walks every day. Your wife says. She known about you and Joan, but she forgives you. Oh, Amanda, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's hurry and go look for their bodies. By now, the officers no longer doubted Chen Zhao. They all looked at him with awe. The police would actually work with spiritualists sometimes. Of course, it was mostly useless. Chen Zhao told the address to police and Board, and everyone went into action. 3 police cars drove to St. Anthony Church. Chen Zhao saw the oak tree from afar. Pointing at it, he said, "It's there. They may have been buried there." He glanced at the mother and daughter beside him, but they disappeared without him realizing. The officers walked to the oak tree with their tools. Walter circled the oak tree. He sniffed the ground and then started barking wildly. The officers and Board all looked at Chen Zhao, waiting for his instructions. Dig there. He pointed where Walter was standing. Chapter 83, Trials of Life and Death. Chapter 83, Trials of Life and Death. Together, the few police dug 1 meter into the ground. Just then, one of the shovels hit something with a bang. There's a box below. Lift it up. The police lifted the box out of the hole. Opening the box, they actually saw a mother and a daughter inside. They were both naked and had some wounds on their bodies. Chen Zhao was also astonished. Wait, they're not dead. What? David, call the ambulance. Walter, get me my toolbox. Chen Zhao removed his jacket and placed it on Amanda. Another police also did the same for Aisha. Both ladies were in deep coma. Moreover, they had been severely harmed before this. Nobody had any idea how long they had been buried. Although the box was quite big, it would probably only contain a few hours of air. It was hard to believe that they had pulled through. Chen Zhao had to perform first aid on them immediately. There was no time to waste. All of you, stand back. They're in suspended animation now, which is extremely dangerous. Mr. Board, you too. The police and Board could not help either, so they took a few steps back. As Chen Zhao fed the pair some medicine made from perfect crystal powder, he lifted his head and asked, "When will the ambulance arrive?" The sky was already very dark at the moment. The police was lighting the place up with their flashlights, but their vision was still affected. About 15 minutes. As long as they were not dead yet, Chen Zhao was confident that he could save them. However, he could only save their lives and could not do anything about their psychological trauma. Chen Zhao was very familiar with one of the paramedics on the ambulance. It was for. "It's you? Mr. Chen, do you know each other?" David asked curiously. "Kind of. We're both doctors after all." "Miss Four, why are you looking at me like this? Now's not the time to be distracted. The lives of these two ladies still depend on you. Since you're here, I believe that they'll be fine, For said. Thank you for the compliment. Buddy, if there's nothing else for me, I'll take my leave now. Mr. Chen, let me send you home, David invited. I live in Mountain Town, which is quite far away. Are you sure you want to send me back? There ain't any cabs around here. All right, thanks. No, we should be the ones to thank you. You've saved a mother and a daughter, a family indeed. Sadly, I can't save more. Mr. Chen. Call me Chen. Chen, since the mother and the daughter aren't dead, why can you see their souls? I have no clue. I'm only an amateur spiritualist. You should ask a more professional spiritualist such a question. Chen Zhao also wanted to know the answer. He decided to ask Blackie after getting home. Yet you're already the most professional spiritualist I've ever seen. An hour later, David stared at Chen Zhao's house. Do you stay here? It looks gloomy. I've rented this apartment. It's haunted. Why are you staying here if it's haunted? Because it's cheap? Fine, but you shouldn't be bothered anyway. You're a spiritualist after all. Do you want to come in and take a seat? Forget it. I need to rush back to the station. Next time. Okay then, right? Don't forget to help me find my friend. Sure. If I receive any news, you'll be the first person to know it. Doctor, how's my wife and daughter? How are they now? Their vital signs are both very stable and they're not in danger. However, your daughter has suffered from cerebral hypoxia and she might what? She might suffer brain injury. She might remain in coma for an extended period of time, and her intelligence might also be affected. No way. Doctor, Aisha is only 12. Please help her. These are only the worst possibilities. If she really remains in coma or suffers permanent brain damage due to this, there's almost no way the current medical technology can heal her. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Please save my daughter. I can't, but maybe that person can, For said, looking at bored. That person? Who? Where's the person? The Asian who's been with you earlier. His name is Chen. No? Can he? Yes. Go and plead him. If he wants, perhaps he can heal your daughter. Can he really? You don't have any other choices now, do you? I'll go and find him. By the way, don't tell him that I've told you this. Why? There's some resentment between the two of us. If he finds out that I'm the one who told you this, he might reject you. Get it? Okay, I got it. Thank you, doctor. At the moment, Chen Zhao was in Blackie's castle. Whenever Blackie was home, he would be in the laboratory with Chen Zhao. Blackie, I met the souls of a mother and a daughter today. They were not dead, but their souls appeared before me. Why did it happen? They're living souls. They appear after losing consciousness, but there are many reasons they can appear. Strong personal will, or obsession with living, or fear of death, or unfulfilled wishes. Oh yeah, that girl's soul can perform some unbelievable actions. She can move physical objects. Oh, that's a soul with spiritual talents. Spiritual talents? Spiritualist? Yes, you're considered as a spiritualist too. Me? Kind of. What do you mean by kind of? Spiritualists can only communicate with souls. They can't speak with demons. In fact, they can't even see me, but you can order demons at your will. Seems like I'm stronger. A spiritualist will only awaken after experiencing trials of life and death. That girl has already started to awaken and pass death trial, but she still has to face life trial now. What do you mean? Her death trial is the injury that she suffered earlier. However, because of your intervention, she's passed her death trial, and what follows is life trial. If she can't pass her life trial, she'll remain in coma forever. What will she face? Now she's like a dazzling gem. There'll be many evil spirits that can detect her presence. Perhaps all the evil spirits in the entire city will feel her, find her, and then feed on her. Doesn't that mean her situation now is very dangerous? Yes, extremely dangerous indeed, and not just her. The people around her will also be in danger. Can you help me to protect her? Blackie smiled. Although he did not have a face, Chen Zhao could still somehow feel his smile. Just tell me what's the price you want. For every evil spirit I settle, I want 1 year worth of demonic crystals. Deal. Chapter 84. The Man Who Held a Gun to Chen Zhao's Head. Chapter 84. The Man Who Held a Gun to Chen Zhao's Head. Hi, David. A woman walked into the office. David was reading the case and looked up at the incomer. You're Miss Sienna. David stood up immediately. Hello. How can I help you today? Your team leader called me here. He went out and won't be back until noon. I'll call him now. Sienna was the consultant for the LA West City branch. She was also a true spiritualist. David hadn't worked with Sienna before, but he'd heard his team leader mention her before. Apparently, Sienna could communicate with the dead. This reminded David of Chen Zhao. He wondered if Sienna or Chen was more powerful. Miss Sienna, you're a spiritualist, right? Sienna chuckled without answering David's question. This wasn't a secret in the station anymore, but she'd never communicated with the dead before any officer. The reason was that not everyone was willing to believe that there were spirits in this world. Plus, she couldn't make the spirits appear before everyone. Even people from the stations that she worked with said behind her back that she was just pretending. Miss Sienna, are spirits like us living folks? She looked at David. Do you believe there are spirits on this world? Yes, and I believe that you spiritualists can see them and talk to them. Another spiritualist came to our station yesterday. He says he's just a part-time spiritualist, but he can talk to them. Huh, you believe him just because he says he's one? Sienna scoffed. She'd met a lot of people in her field, but most were fakes. These people acted mysteriously all day and even talked professionally on TV shows. But to Sienna, they were all fakes. Of course, Sienna couldn't prove that they were liars. It was just like how she couldn't prove that she wasn't a liar. It's true. My colleagues and I saw a cup fly before us. He even helped us save a mother and daughter. Oh, the souls that he saw were the mother and daughter pair? Sienna asked immediately, surprised. Yes, their spirits went to find him and asked him to save them. Now, the mom is awake, but she doesn't seem to remember her soul coming out. Her daughter is still in a coma, though. The doctor said that she has brain hypoxia and might be in a coma forever. Sienna furrowed her brows. Which hospital is the girl in now? Why? What's wrong? Tell me what hospital she's in now, Sienna pressed on. David told her the hospital. I'm going. Tell your team leader that I have an emergency. Sienna left without even looking back. David ran after her. Miss Sienna, can you tell me what's wrong? That girl is in danger. What? Is someone trying to hurt her? David was frightened. There weren't any police protecting her there. Not a person, Sienna said. It's useless talking to you. The police can't help. Miss Sienna, we saved that girl. It's our duty to protect her. Please tell me who's trying to hurt her. It's no use. Sienna walked out of the station, but David was still behind her. Miss Sienna, we can definitely protect her. Please tell me what we should do. You can't do anything. You'll just add to the mess. We can request for stronger reinforcement. LA has an anti-terrorist department. This isn't what humans can defeat. Evil spirits are threatening that girl's life. You understand? To those evil spirits, she's like a delicious piece of cake. Whatever. You won't believe me. David stood frozen in his spot. Evil spirits. Sienna was already gone, but David was still dazed. Suddenly, he thought of something. Chen Zhao. Perhaps he could help. Perhaps he could protect that girl. No, he definitely could. David immediately looked for Chen Zhao's number. Hello, Chen Zhao speaking. Mr. Chen, it's Marguerite. You should remember me, right? I need your help. Marguerite? I remember. The first time I got a gun pointed at my head was because of you, right? Chen Zhao immediately lost his temper. Seriously? He'd almost pissed his pants that time. They were talking through the phone now, so Chen Zhao vented out all his anger. Mr. Chen, I'm sorry about that time. I'm seriously sorry. I need your help right now. Help? Sorry, I won't help you. $10,000. Marguerite gritted out. I promise I won't disturb you again. I swear on my dignity. $10,000 wasn't a small number. Zhao calmed down. Tell me first if you or someone you know is in trouble. Me, my boss, and 2 partners. We're getting chased and we're all hurt. One of us is badly hurt. I can't think of anyone else who can help us. Will you ensure my safety if I go over there? I need to at least be sure that you won't kill me afterward. Yes, I swear. I swear on my life. Fine. Tell me where I need to go. Zhao opened his curtains and looked outside. Indeed, there was a car parked on the road. He walked out with Beelzebub and his toolkit. After getting into the car, he saw that Marguerite's abdomen was dyed red and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Mr. Chen, I promise you'll be safe, but before this, can you turn off your phone? I trust you, but I hope no one will find us through you. Fine, but you need treatment. Let's leave this place first. Marguerite drove the car away. Let me check your injury first. Zhao opened Marguerite's shirt. Okay, the bullet didn't stay in your body. It went through your right abdomen, and you have pretty heavy blood loss. Drink this and I'll stitch you up. Zhao handed a thin demonic crystal potion to Marguerite. Bear the pain and don't drive us into a ditch. Marguerite drove while enduring the immense pain. Chen, if this happens again, can you please bring some anesthetics? Not everyone can take this pain. Nope, I don't have a license. I can't get anesthetics. I have connections, Marguerite said. Tell me what happened. Why are you getting chased? Are you sure you want to know? Whatever. Pretend I didn't ask. It's not much. After all, we're not a secret in either the legal or illegal world. Our team has a police mole, and he betrayed us. The FBI ruined our business, and our enemy started chasing us. You can't even protect yourself, and you can still get me control drugs? 2 different things. You really have connections to get me some medicine? To be honest, Zhao didn't need it. The problem with being an illegal doctor was that medicine was hard to get. He couldn't get things like analgesics and anesthetics without a legit prescription at all. He really needed these things right now, which was why he asked Marguerite. Of course, but it's different from the market price. The cheapest one will be twice the price of a legit pharmacy. Some others are crazily expensive. You need to mentally prepare yourself. Of course, I understand. Chapter 85. Baldness requires timely treatment. Chapter 85. Baldness requires timely treatment. Zhao looked at the forest by the roadside. Turning his head, he glanced at Marguerite. Are you planning to bring me to the wilds, kill me, and then dispose of my body? Do Chinese people all like to imagine things? It's just that American films often contain such scenes, so you can only see them in films. Marguerite rolled his eyes. The pair passed many winding roads. It was already somewhat dark at the moment. Suddenly, the car came to a stop. We've reached? Zhao asked. No, we have to walk from here. Don't tell me your place is in the woods. Yup, we can only hide in here now. Are you sure you have enough cash to pay me later? People like us always have a few strongholds ready in advance. These strongholds have enough resources and cash to be used precisely in such situations. They walked for over 10 minutes. The forest was rather hot and stuffy, so Zhao was already panting. Do you want me to carry your toolbox for you? Nope. The one inside doesn't like other people to go near him. The one inside? Zhao opened the toolbox and Raymond climbed out. Hiss. Seeing the huge, colorful snake, Marguerite took a few steps back in fright. However, he was only momentarily shocked. Marguerite also glanced at Beelzebub, Walter, and Carrie, who were beside Zhao. Do you always bring your pets when you come out to work? Marguerite looked at the playing pets. Clearly, he did not know that an evil existence was floating above his head. I'm used to it. If I leave them home, I'll have to contact a repair company the next day. I used to have a dog too. What happened then? My enemy hung it on my door. I thought it'll be a touching story. That day, I found the enemy and hung him on his mother's door. Zhao decided to change the topic. Marguerite, it's not a good sign for you to be bald at this age. Do you plan to have long-term treatment? I can let you have thick hair again. I shaved it myself, bastard. Is it? Actually, you don't have to be embarrassed. Baldness is a common illness and might be inherited or due to a skin condition, but I think you should have a checkup early. After all, baldness is sometimes an early sign of erectile dysfunction. I don't need it. My sexual function is great. You don't have to worry about it. Really? I don't want to talk about this. Marguerite was somewhat confused. After walking for over half an hour in the woods, he had almost forgotten about the wound on his abdomen. Just now, Zhao had done nothing apart from giving him an unknown black solution and stitching his wound. Why would his injury be stabilized so quickly? Given that Marguerite had been frequently injured, he could roughly tell how severe his wound was. In the past, he had had injuries which were slightly less severe than this time. Even with anesthetic and professional bandaging, treatment, and transfusion, he was not able to move freely for a few days. However, Zhao had only treated him briefly, and he was already no longer in pain. This caused Zhao's importance in Marguerite's eyes to rise. Sometimes, a good doctor was equivalent to an extra life for people like Marguerite. It's right in front. We're almost there. Soon, a small, lit house appeared before them from the trees. The house looks quite old. It used to be the property of a hunter. It's been here for around 70 or 80 years. Are you sure nobody will find this place? Whatever. As long as our enemies can't find this place. Knock, knock. Marguerite knocked on the door with a special rhythm. Clearly, it was a secret code they had agreed on earlier. A gap was slowly opened through the door. The person inside looked outside before opening the door fully. Zhao saw a dispirited man with messy hair who was about 30 years old. His face was bruised and blood-stained could be seen around the left opening of his pants. Is he the doctor? Yes. Zhao entered the room. There were two more people inside, one of whom he already knew. It was Marguerite's boss. He was lying on the ground with a sheet on. It seemed like he was asleep, but he was still holding a gun in his hand. Zhao thought that Marguerite's boss might just shoot him while dreaming. The last person was sitting at the table and eating some food, but he also looked listless. Who first? Zhao asked. Suddenly, the dispirited man who had opened the door shouted in fear, "Ah, there's a snake? A snake?" The person who had been eating drew his gun in shock. The gang leader who was asleep also jumped up, took his gun, and pointed it at Zhao. It's the second time. Zhao stared at the leader in anger. Chen, it's you. The leader put his gun back. Marguerite flung his hand at the dispirited man's face. Sanders, stop shocking us. Don't you think we've enough to worry about already? Marguerite watched as Zhao allowed his colorful pet snake to crawl all over the house. Concerned, he asked, Chen, are you sure your pet wouldn't go missing if it keeps crawling around like this? Even if all of you go missing, he wouldn't. The dispirited man seemed to be very scared of snakes. As Raymond made a circle around the house, he moved around too, not daring to go near Raymond. However, the more he was afraid, the more Raymond wanted to go close to him. Sadly, his leg was still injured, so he could only limp around. Enough, Raymond, stop scaring him. Everyone realized that the snake was actually obedient. He stopped harassing the dispirited man and crawled near the fireplace, after which he coiled up. It was almost December, and the temperature around Los Angeles had already started to fall. At night, the temperature could even fall below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Zhao looked at the leader. You want to go first? No, my injuries aren't severe. Nesta, you first. The man who had been eating by the table walked to Zhao. He looked somewhat cold and he had been silent all the time. Zhao looked at Nesta. Where's your injuries? Nesta removed his clothes at once and then lied down on the floor. Zhao saw a bloody long wound on his back, as well as 2 holes. It seemed like he had been attacked by someone from the back. His injuries were severe, but not hard to deal with. None of the wounds damaged the spine or any important part. While the wounds were terrifying, they were not deadly. At least, he would probably not die as long as he was treated before any infections. Zhao quickly applied some medicine on his wounds. It was actually not a medicine in the human world, but rather an herb in hell. While the medicine was made from plants in hell, it was not harmful to humans. After applying the medicine, Zhao started suturing the long wound and bandaging the injuries. He made 35 stitches, during which Nesta made no sound at all. Later your wounds will feel very itchy, but you mustn't scratch with your hands. Marguerite, keep an eye on him, Zhao said. Don't worry. Nesta's a tough guy, Marguerite said, unconcerned. I hope so. Chapter 86, A Bit Powerless Recently. Chapter 86, A Bit Powerless Recently. While Zhao was treating the boss, Nesta finally had some reactions. He could take it in the beginning and just ground his teeth in pain. Gradually, it became too much. He tried reaching behind to scratch his back. Marguerite grabbed Nesta's back. Nesta, you're a man. You can't give in. Nesta bore it for a moment longer, but his expression became spectacular. It really itches, right? Very, very itchy. Did you put like 100 bugs on my back? The prescription that Zhao used was made according to the notes in the demonic medical book. The previous Grim Reaper had experimented on human bodies. Don't worry. It'll only last around 20 minutes. You've already survived more than 10 minutes. It's almost over. You can do it. The boss looked at Nesta. Is it really that itchy? You never made a sound when you're hurt before. You want to get some too? It's really effective. Will it help me heal faster? Yes. Then give me some. Zhao applied some of the medicine on the boss. The next moment, he felt itchiness and was going to scratch it, but Zhao slapped his hand away. You just told someone to stop, but you can't take it now? After Zhao finished patching up the boss, he turned toward the dispirited guy. Your turn. Take off your pants. The man's left thigh was hurt, so he had to take off his pants. Zhao covered his nose. How many days have you gone without changing your underwear? We've been on the run for 2 days, Marguerite said. Look at us. Do you think we can shower? It's like you have a rotting muffin hidden in your pants. Zhao had to put on a mask. The smell was honestly disgusting. The dispirited man's injuries were the lightest but the most troublesome. He'd been hurt for the longest time, and the bullet had been stuck in his thigh the entire time. Thankfully, it was a smaller bullet and the shooter had been far away. Otherwise, he could say goodbye to his thigh. The wound was infected. Zhao opened the wound up a bit and sliced off the infected parts. At the same time, he dug out the bullet with surgical forceps. Blood spurted out as soon as the bullet was out. Press down there. Zhao had the man hold down a meridian in his thigh. When he did so, the bleeding stopped immediately. If you drag this out one more day, your leg would be gone. The man's lips turned purple and his forehead was covered in sweat. All right. Zhao wiped his sweat. Don't put the wound in water for 2 days. After 2 days, you can change the gauze, take a shower, and then change the gauze. Oh, it's best if you disinfect the wound with rubbing alcohol before wrapping it again. What about us? Marguerite asked. You 3 don't have troublesome injuries and had the medicine applied too. It'll scab over quickly. It's best if you shower and keep clean. Where's the bathroom? I need to wash my hands. In the back? Zhao came out after washing his hands, but Nesta pointed a gun to his head. Nesta, put down the gun, Marguerite said. You can trust Chen. You better prepare more cash next time, or else I'm definitely not coming. Marguerite took out a stack of cash and gave it to Zhao. I'll see you out. After leaving the forest, Marguerite followed behind Zhao awkwardly. He promised he wouldn't hold a gun to Zhao's head, but then someone else did it. Chen, I'm really sorry. I swear it won't happen next time. Whatever. I won't ask about your stuff. Can I turn on my phone now?
Yes.
Marguerite nodded. Zhao turned on his phone and saw a bunch of missed calls. One of them was Vincent. The others were all from David. Hello, David? What's wrong? Chen, why did you turn off your phone? I called you so many times, but they wouldn't go through. I even went to your house, but you weren't there. There might be a problem with the girl you saved yesterday. What's wrong with her? Zhao slapped his forehead. He suddenly remembered that Blackie had said yesterday that the girl named Aisha seemed to have another life trial. Was her life trial coming so quickly? A spiritualist came here today? A spiritualist? Is it a scammer? No. After she heard about the girl, she said the girl's in big trouble, like something's gonna attack her. I thought of you. Can you protect her? A spiritualist? Blackie had said that those who'd gone through the trials of life and death would become spiritualists. This meant that the person David spoke of had gone through it and knew what would happen to the girl. Chen, are you listening? David asked anxiously. Please say something. Oh, I'm here. Which hospital is the girl in? Chantilly Hospital. Can you transfer her out? Transfer out? Why? It may affect people around her. It's that serious? Yes, it's very serious. But I don't have the authority and the girl isn't a criminal. We need her dad's permission. Whatever, let's go to Chantilly first, Zhao said helplessly. We'll see later. After hanging up, Zhao turned and said, to Chantilly Hospital. Is there trouble? Do you need help? It's fine. The guy who just called me is the police. I don't think you want to appear before him. Okay, you work with the police too? Not really. What are you going to kill me? I'm not that unreasonable. Plus, we worked with the police before too. Of course, it's nothing legal. Good, but it's best if you guys move out later. Otherwise, you'll definitely suspect me if your place gets exposed. As if we need to be told. After reaching Chantilly Hospital, Zhao got off. Morgari suddenly poked his head out. Chun, how long will it take to cure balding? Didn't you say you don't need it? I have balding friends. It's not me. Oh, then have your friend come see me. I need to diagnose him face to face. Fine. It's me. Do you have trouble getting hard? No. My sex is great. Oh, then you don't need to be treated. Goodbye. Fine, fine. Don't leave. I'm just feeling a little powerless these days. I can only get hard with medication. Come find me after you get through your recent trouble. With that, Zhao picked up his toolkit and walked away with his pets. Chapter 87. An Unexpected Setting. Chapter 87. An Unexpected Setting. David, I'm here. Zhao already saw David, who was sitting in the lobby of the hospital. David immediately walked to him. Chen, you're finally here. Can you describe to me this situation in detail? David told Zhao the entire story. That's about all. Since that female spiritualist knows about it, she should have a solution. Moreover, I'm only an amateur and can't be compared to a professional one. Is it? David was somewhat hesitant. After all, he had seen Zhao display his skill of communicating with souls for himself. On the other hand, although the professional spiritualist Ms. Sienna had worked with the police a few times, nobody had seen her actually do anything. Therefore, David was unsure if Sienna was really that powerful. I'll stay in the hospital tonight, Zhao said. Since Zhao had already started helping, he might as well do it until the end. He was not paid for this, but he could not sleep at home unworried, knowing that a girl's life was at stake. I haven't told the girl's father about it. Do you think we should inform him? How do we inform him? Tell him that his daughter is about to be attacked by evil spirits? So do we not do anything? That female spiritualist is already there. No? Clearly, she can't just go near the girl without talking to her father. Then what do we do now? Sit here and rest? Here? Not the ward? No. I'll know if evil spirits are here. However, David could not sit still. He kept anxiously walking in circles before Zhao. David, don't you have something to do in the station? If you have anything, you can leave first. You can't help here anyway. It's okay. Actually, I'm on leave. All right, but can you sit down? You're disturbing me. Chen, aren't you nervous? Oh, right. You must have experienced such situations many times. Are evil spirits very scary? Actually, it's my first time too. As for evil spirits, Zhao had seen many of them in Blackie's place. Having seen so many evil spirits, Chen Zhao was already used to it. Just then, Chen Zhao's old acquaintance, 4, came. Mr. Chen, we meet again. For strolled towards the pair. Her white coat could not cover her unique temperament and proud look at all. Chen Zhao noticed that she had always been looking at him as if she was superior. Hence, Chen Zhao had always disliked 4. Dr. 4, how may I help you? You know that pets are not allowed into the hospital? Oh, are you chasing me out? No. As long as you wish, Chantilly Hospital always welcomes you. I'm honored by your words. Mr. Chen, why are you here? Is there a patient who requires your treatment? Although 4 had only encountered Chen Zhao a few times, she could still roughly tell that Chen Zhao was unwilling to expose his medical skills. Thus, she felt that she should get close to him step by step instead of proposing an unreasonable request hastily. She should at least become Chen Zhao's friend first and not let him dislike her. I have somnambulism and accidentally sleepwalked to the hospital, Chen Zhao said. 4's smile was somewhat cold. Mr. Chen, don't you think your joke is a little too cold? Is it? Ha! Subconsciously, Chen Zhao disliked 4 and was unwilling to interact with her. Is he your friend? I remember he's a police. 4 glanced at David. David was energized at once. Hi, I'm David. 4 was very beautiful, and beautiful women could always attract the eyes and admiration of men. David was a straight man, so he obviously liked beautiful women. 4 had everything a man would hope for: beauty, intelligence, sexiness, and independence. Hi, it's the second time we've met. 4 had a faint smile on her face, but she still looked distant. Can I have your number? We can meet when you're free. Sorry, I still have work to do. Bye. 4 left the pair. Chen Zhao petted David's shoulder. Great. It's a really effective method to chase her away. Ha! It was already past 1 in the morning. Suddenly, Chen Zhao stood up. David could feel his heart skip a beat. Are they here? No. That's all for tonight. Why? She'll be safe after 1. Just then, a woman walked out from the elevator in the lobby. Huh, David, why are you here? Ms. Sienna, this is the spiritualist I've told you about. Him? Chen Zhao saw the same arrogant look 4 had in Sienna's eyes. Eastern, are you the amateur spiritualist? Yes. Leave this place. It's not something you can help with, Sienna said. Okay, bye. Chen Zhao walked a few steps away before turning around again. Oh yeah, take this. David looked at the keys in his hand in puzzlement. What's this? It's for the basement in my house. If you need help, I'm not around, and you can't contact me, you can hide in my basement. Huh, basement? I should leave now. This time, Chen Zhao really left. Miss Sienna, how could you treat Chen like this? He's here to help. Help? Sienna sneered. He has no idea what he's about to face. I believe in him. Your trust is useless. That Eastern can't help us. How can you be so certain? He's a man. So what? In the Middle Ages, churches used to hunt down witches, who were actually women like me. We can communicate with souls, and we're viewed as evil beings. A minority of men can also communicate with souls, and they're called wizards, but they're not nearly as powerful as witches. In thousands of years of development, 4 classes formed among the witches: toxicology, death-speaking, spiritology, and divination. Also, wizards are servants of witches. Do you get it now? Wizards and witches are different in both their positions and abilities. Wait, is it really good to have such a setting all of a sudden? Don't confuse movies with reality. It's not a magical world. We only have a bit more abilities than normal people. It's not as complicated as you think. Then is there an evil organization? Or a madman wanting to destroy the world? Sienna rolled her eyes. In fact, witches like me don't only cooperate with the police, but also with the government sometimes. Of course, there isn't any evil organization, let alone a madman who wants to destroy the world. We also can't destroy the world. Then what class of witch are you? I'm both a death speaker and a spiritualist. Double class. It's like taking a subject in college. As long as you have time, you can learn other disciplines. Can you protect that girl by yourself? I don't know. The girl has already awakened. Furthermore, I've never seen anyone as talented as her. I'm afraid that she'll attract countless evil spirits. I'm also unsure how bad the situation will be then. In this case, isn't it better to have one more helper? You mean one more burden? I suggest you don't get yourself involved too. Both you and he are of little help to me. Chapter 88. The Two Types of People Chen Zhao Hates. Chapter 88. The Two Types of People Chen Zhao Hates. Blackie, why does that woman make me feel like she's cooler than me? From the way you understand the word, she is indeed cooler than you, Blackie said matter-of-factly. Is she powerful? She should be a death speaker witch. I know what a witch is, but what's a death speaker? Just like careers for people, you can say a death speaker is a type of career too. What do they do? It sounds really high-end. They're a type of witch that enslaves evil spirits to help them do some things when needed. For example, regular evil spirits just scare people, but stronger ones can take over a human or even help her fight directly. I feel like I'm involved in a magical world now. This is different from my worldviews. Are there many people like her in the world? Which magic is the magic that demons don't want? Beelzebub said with disdain. More than 1,000 years ago, demons left behind some magic when they were summoned to the human world. Most aren't suitable for human use though, so the humans changed it up themselves and evolved into what it is today. Are there any I can learn? Chen Zhao wanted to learn magic too. I don't know many spells and most are subordinate spells. You can't learn it. Why not? You aren't my king's low-level demon. How can you learn glutton spells? What about you? Any spells? Human, don't ask me. I don't know any spells other than subordinate spells. Blackie, what about you? I don't know any, Blackie answered. But if you want to learn, you can look for demons without subordinate. Are there any spells that can destroy the world instantly? Yes. Really? In comics. Beelzebub looked at him scornfully. But if you really want to learn magic, you can look for Raz. Maybe he has magic books. Him. But his stuff is also expensive. Chen Zhao got back home but saw that the light was on. He froze. Was there someone there? Zhao. Chen Zhao had only given his keys to Zhao. As soon as he entered, he saw someone lying on the sofa. A pair of long legs was propped on the living room table. Those legs weren't Zhao's. She was more muscular and didn't have such slender legs. The skin color wasn't right either. Chen Zhao walked into the living room and saw Fei Lai sleeping on the sofa. She was still holding the remote control. She'd probably fallen asleep while watching TV. Knock, knock. Chen Zhao enjoyed those long sexy legs and gradually looked up. As expected from the coastal lifeguard, her figure went without saying. When he knocked on the doorframe, Fei Lai's eyes flew open and she jumped up. Did I go into the wrong home? Hi, you're back? Fei Lai rubbed her eyes. Walter, come to me. I miss you so much. Can you tell me why you have my keys and why you're here? From now on, this is my home too. I never allowed you to live here, Chen Zhao said coldly. Actually, you did. Fei Lai took out a contract and placed it on the table. Chen Zhao grabbed it. Seeing the rent contract, his expression darkened immediately. The agent had called in the morning and told him they'd found a roommate for him. It was her? Don't you know that rooming with an unfamiliar man is really dangerous? I'm not scared. Walter will protect me. Fei Lai acted as if she didn't understand, but Chen Zhao doubted she was just a dumb blonde. Plus, she wasn't even blonde. Why aren't you going to your room? Didn't clean up yet. Oh right, where did you go? Why did you come back so late? And why did you bring Walter with you? I think that's my freedom. You don't need to worry where I'm going or if I bring Walter. Walter isn't only your dog. Did you hear about this home's history from the agent? Yes. It's bad luck, right? But you're not scared, so why should I be scared? Fine, whatever. Chen Zhao shook his head. Since we're living together, you better be prepared. I have some habits, for example. Habits? Running around nude at home? Huh. If you dare do that, I'll call the cops. It says clearly in the contract that if one party has indecent behavior in shared space, the other party has the right to call the cops. If you can't tolerate it, I'll have to move. Sneering, Zhao continued, I promise you'll never be able to find me or see Walter. Fine. As long as you don't harass me, I won't care. I'm a lifeguard. I've seen everything before. Also, you can't go into the basement. What's in the basement? Did you hide any unseeable things? To be honest, the basement was just a basement. The entrance to Blackie's space crevice was there, but without Blackie's permission, no one could enter the crevice. Some of my medical equipment and medicine. I don't wish for anyone to touch my things. Okay, I won't go. I don't like being in those dark and damp places anyway. Okay, I'm going to rest now. Zhao walked into the bathroom. He stripped until only his underwear was left and then ran around the house. Feilai pretended she didn't see the half-nude Zhao, just as they'd agreed on. Is there food? I'm hungry. In the fridge. Go look yourself. Shirtless, Zhao brushed his teeth while watching TV in the living room. The pizza's nice. You make it? No, the neighbors gave it to me. Leave some for me. I haven't eaten yet. Is it okay for you to eat so much at night? Lifeguards have high expenditures every day. I need to eat at least 2,000 calories per day. If I'm not full, I'll be the one to run into trouble. Feilai was entirely unladylike when she ate. She stuffed the pizza in her mouth like a chipmunk. Do you work so late every day? Depends, Zhao said. I have to go out if I get a client's call at night. Feilai saw Raymond slither to Walter. The snake and dog cuddled up together. Are you sure that snake won't bite Walter? It's smarter than you. Zhao showered in the bathroom. When he came out, he saw that Feilai had taken the beer out of Zhao's fridge. There's more than 2,000 calories on the table. It's okay. I have a fast metabolism, so I never get fat. There were two types of people that Zhao hated the most. Skinny people and skinny people that proclaimed they never got fat no matter what they ate. Chapter 89. Filming Team. Chapter 89. Filming Team. Zhao slept until noon. When he woke up, Feilai had long left. Zhao tidied himself up, after which he called Vincent. Chen, where are you going today? New Cage Avenue. I don't know the exact location, Zhao said. That's on the other side of Los Angeles. I'll give you a discount, $300. Are you not using the meter? If I use the meter, it'll be at least $500. Fine, $300 it is. Are you in a hurry? If not, I'll drive slower. As long as I reach in an hour. We can't reach in an hour, but I'll try. Zhao was heading for New Cage Avenue, where Steven's movie team was filming. Steven had built an outdoor studio there. Zhao and Steven had agreed to meet at the studio that day. New Cage Avenue was also in the suburbs. It ran along the coastline, and the scenery was excellent. The left side of the avenue was occupied by a mountain with lush greenery, while one could have a nice view of the sea and feel the salty sea breeze on the other side. When Zhao called Steven to ask for his exact location, Zhao could not understand it despite being told a few times. In the end, he could only pass his phone to Vincent and let him communicate with Steven. Outside the studio, Vincent's car was stopped by a guard. Sorry, a team is filming ahead. You can't enter. Zhao made a call. Soon, a short man with curly hair walked out hurriedly. Get out of the way. This is Mr. Steven's guest. The curly-haired man waved his hand to instruct the guard. You must be Mr. Chen. Is your car going in as well? Yes. He still has to drive me back later. There might not be a place to park your car inside. Can you park it here? The guard will watch over it. All right. Vincent, follow me in. Vincent was also very interested in the studio. He was born and grew up in Los Angeles. While it was claimed that every Angelino knew how to act, he had never really learned anything about filming or been to a studio. How should I address you? I'm the assistant director. You can call me Holier. Zhao already saw Steven. He was sitting in front of the small screen behind the camera, looking at the video being captured. Zhao also knew the actress before the lens, Yafan. She was playing opposite a male actor. Yafan saw Chen Zhao with the corner of her eyes. Immediately, Stephen noticed that Yafan was distracted. Cut, again. Yafan, where were you looking at? Sorry, Yafan apologized right away, but she still glanced at Chen Zhao, who was behind Stephen. Stephen also noticed Yafan's look and turned his head. Haha, Chen, you're here. Holier, help me to film scene 146. Stephen immediately stood up and commanded Holier to take over his task. Yafan, come here. Yafan walked to Chen Zhao and openly hugged him to welcome his arrival. Vincent swallowed his saliva. He recalled picking Chen Zhao up from Yafan's house the last time. She's so beautiful. Vincent could not help but envy Chen Zhao. Yafan, finish your sections first. I have something to discuss with Chen. Then, Stephen looked at Vincent. Oh, he's my friend, Vincent. He drove me here. Vincent, do you want to try being an actor? Can I? I have a small role with a few lines. If you're interested, you can try. Holier, arrange it and give him the script. I need to talk to Chen. Yes, Mr. Stephen. As the assistant director, his main job was to replace the director for less important scenes, accumulate work experience, and better his filming skills. Stephen brought Chen Zhao into his motorhome. After boarding the vehicle, Chen Zhao realized that it was actually a small apartment. He estimated that such a vehicle would cost $2 million, which was more expensive than the house he was currently living in. Chen, do we start the treatment now? Yes. Remove your shirt and lie on the sofa. Will it hurt? No, you wouldn't even feel any discomfort. We can chat during the treatment. Chen, do you want to be my health consultant? I'll give you $8,000 a month. You do a checkup on me every once in a while. Sure. Chen Zhao accepted the deal at once because the pay was very high. Health consultant is different from personal doctor. A health consultant is not in charge of treatment, but only provides physical examination and advice. At the same time, he would need to answer any medical queries the client has. In addition, a health consultant can have more than just one client as long as he has the time. He can have 10 or even 100 clients. Of course, normally a health consultant can only have at most 10 clients. After all, physical examination and talking with the client take up at least half a day. If Chen Zhao were to become the health consultant of 10 clients, he would need to spend 5 to 10 days every month on these clients. If he had more clients, he would not even be able to continue with his original job. $8,000 a month was already extremely high. An ordinary doctor might not even be able to get $1,000 from a client, not to mention the tax he had to pay. Of course, being a health consultant was different from treating Stephen or Rasfa. While Chen Zhao would get tens of thousands per session, such income was very unstable. He might earn a lot for a while and not get much for the next few months. He would stop getting paid after the treatments were over, unless he could get a patient that required long-term treatment. Also, not every patient was as rich as Stephen or Rasfa. On the other hand, health consultant was a stable source of income. As long as his client did not die or fire him, Chen Zhao would keep getting paid. Done. Turn over and remove your pants. Underwear too. Chen Zhao started to insert needles into the front of Stephen's body. I think there's some stones in your urethra. As Chen Zhao inserted the needles, he immediately felt some foreign matter. Sometimes when I go to the restroom, I indeed can't pee. I need to wait for a long time and it's painful, but not severe at all. Do I need surgery? No, it's just a small problem. These small stones can be removed easily. I'll break them apart. Drink more water tonight, and you can pass them out yourself. Thank you. Done. Take this. What? Stephen watched as Chen Zhao passed him an erotic magazine. Try to see if you can get hard. Chapter 90. Fight Between Women. Chapter 90. Fight Between Women. Stephen walked out of the van with a ruddy face, but his lower body felt uncomfortable from being pent up. Chen, is there any way to make my dick go back? Nope. This will last for the entire day. You'll have a boner the entire day, and you can't touch women during these 24 hours either. All right, can I use my hand? No. If you endure these 24 hours, you'll become very powerful. You'll be healthy as long as you don't sleep with 10 girls in a day. Satisfying 1 or 2 women is no problem. Of course, if you want your body to keep up, you should eat more protein and carbs and do 30 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. This will help you become strong enough. Hearing that he had to survive 24 hours, Stephen felt helpless. Should I call Yafin over? Oh, I can lend you my van. Won't it affect your filming schedule? No, it's okay, Stephen said, chuckling. My work and private life are always separated. The two walked together the film site. Hollier was in the middle of directing seriously. Vincent walked over, excitement written all over his face. Vincent, did you finish your part? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. I'm really happy to have this chance. You should thank Chen. I gave you this chance because you're his friend. But honestly, have you considered becoming an actor? To be honest, your looks are suitable for comedies. Of course, I'm not trying to offend you. I just think you do have talent in this area. Can I really? Later, I'll have my assistant give you a card. If you're interested, you can try some small roles and see if you're willing. Vincent wasn't ugly, but he had a comedic look. The ugly characters in movies were just actors with unique looks. These roles didn't require the actors to be ugly. There were barely any ugly people in Hollywood. Most of the actors that weren't hot were just that, not hot. They definitely weren't ugly. These roles made the audience know what kind of character they were immediately. In most commercial films, there would be this type of character for comedic break, even in depressing movies. This kind of actor had a big chance of making it big instantly with a role. There were cons too, though. Their face would be stereotyped and set. They would only get this type of role in the future. Stephen gave Vincent this chance because of Chen Zhao, but also because Vincent did have talent in this aspect. Stephen didn't mind giving this young black man a chance. He'd given many young people chances in the past. Not everyone had succeeded, but he was sure that Vincent would succeed. Talent, opportunities, and one's own personality determined whether one could succeed in Hollywood or not. Vincent had talent, and Stephen gave him an opportunity. No one was sure what the end would be like. Stephen didn't have to pay anything anyway. He didn't even need to report to anyone. Of course, Vincent had to sign with a management company before this, even if he was a part-time actor. Yafin walked over now. Smiling, Stephen said, Yafin, did you finish filming? Yes, sir. I have to help here, so accompany Chen around. Then he added knowingly, Vincent, you can stay and watch how the others act. Vincent was talkative, but he knew how to watch the mood. He knew what Yafin and Chen Zhao wanted to do. Instead of going to the van, Chen Zhao and Yafin held hands and walked into the forest. Yafin, do you need to change? Those are the movie's costume, right? Does it not look good? Yafin was wearing a tight-fitting outfit and nothing else under it. If she wore a bra or safety shorts, the lines would show while filming. The tight-fitting shirt showed Yafin's great figure without keeping anything back. She rested her slim arms on Chen Zhao's shoulders. Her red lips opened slightly, releasing a tempting aura. Her eyes glimmered. Chen Zhao looked around and impatiently hugged Yafin. His hands slowly traveled to Yafin's back and unzipped the shirt. She was sexy and open, like a rising sun. Chen Zhao couldn't keep waiting. Heavy panting came from the forest, along with the pained moan of being grabbed in the neck. Are you sure no one will come? Yes, Yafin answered simply. Slower, While Chen Zhao and Yafin were exercising, it became a performance for a third person. Is that Yafin? Is she having sex with someone from the crew? A woman looked through the tree branches at the man and woman, fucking a few 100 feet away. Maybe I should call Mr. Stephen over so he can see that his third female lead is a WH*re. The two suddenly changed their position and the woman saw the man's features. Him? Lucy was shocked. Why is he here? Lucy was the second lead. Her role had many important scenes, but after Yafin joined the cast, her scenes kept getting reduced and turned into Yafin's parts. This made her battle with Yafin secretly. Of course, there were no friendships between actors in any crew. Hollywood was like this, and for actresses especially, It was like palace intrigue. Lucy watched the two while her mind whirred. Stephen was strict with the cast. She wondered if he would cut Yafin's parts or kick her out directly if he knew that she was messing around here. As for Chen Zhao, she didn't think they had any relationship. Chen Zhao had just given her a checkup once. Lucy secretly took a picture with her phone and snuck away. Full of anticipation, she found Stephen. "Mr. Stephen, can we have a chat?" Stephen was sitting in the director's seat and looked back at Lucy. Did this Australian woman want to bribe him? He really wanted it, but Chen had said that he couldn't touch women in 24 hours. "Can I help you?" "Look at this." Lucy took out her phone and opened the picture she'd just taken. Stephen's eye twitched. "You took this?" "Yes. I just finished filming, so I walked around and saw this scene. I know you have strict management, and I didn't expect such an indecent scene would happen in the cast." Stephen pressed delete. Lucy's mouth dropped open and stared at Stephen in confusion. "I don't wish any cast member to have scandals before the movie is released, understood?" "Yes, sir." Lucy believed that she'd reached her goal. She was happy and even excited to see how fascinating Yafin's expression would be when she discovered her parts were cut. Chapter 91. Ethan's Ex-Wife. Chapter 91. Ethan's Ex-Wife. "When can you leave?" "Not today, I'm afraid. I still have 3 more plays at night," Yafin said helplessly. It was very painful to film at night. If possible, she also hoped that she could return to the hotel every day according to the time on the contract. But it was not possible. She was not that powerful. Even if it was past the time on the contract, she still had to smile and willingly accept the overtime. Chen Zhao also did not plan to continue staying here as it was already quite late. "All right, tell me when you're free then." "Of course." Yafin gave him another hot kiss. Yafin sent Chen Zhao all the way to the exit. Chen Zhao said, "Help me say goodbye to Stephen." "Sure. See you." Vincent had long returned to the car with Beelzebub and the other demons to wait for Chen Zhao. Watching Chen Zhao return with his face lit with joy, Vincent's face was filled with envy. "Chen, that woman's really beautiful. You might also have such a chance in the future." "Really? Seize this opportunity well." "I will. Definitely." Vincent clenched his fists tightly. "So can you give me a discount for future rides?" "No way. Damn. I'll call Stephen now and ask him to fire you." Vincent was speechless. "Where do we go now? Home?" "Let's go to Ethan's place for free dinner." "Sure." This was probably Chen Zhao's only opinion so far, which Vincent agreed. Ethan was extremely unhappy with this. He did not even welcome Chen Zhao and Vincent into his motel. However, he was alone and powerless. Walter had already run towards Sasha. Ethan was distressed at the sight, as if his own daughter had been slept by a pig. "Chun, this is too much. You keep coming here for free food, and now your dog even wants to mount my daughter. This is freedom of love. Nobody can stop true love. Quickly finish your food and scram with your dog. And you, Vincent, don't you need to drive?" "Even though I drive, I still need to eat. That's why you drove here for free food." "Fine. I'll leave after I finish. You happy now?" "Vincent, aren't you going to drive me back? How can you be so thick-skinned?" "Forget it then. I'll stay tonight." "Ethan, do you the charger for this model? My phone's flat." "Nope. Some of your stuff is still in that room. Go and find it yourself. Also, $10 per night." After Vincent left, Ethan and Chen Zhao sat before the counter of the motel. "Chen, how long have we known each other for?" "Fuck. Don't talk to me as if we've known each other for tens of years. It's like not even 3 months." "Fine." They fell silent again and nobody spoke. For a few times, Ethan looked like he had something to say but stopped eventually. Chen Zhao could not take it any longer. "Just speak. If not, I'll go upstairs now." "Chen, I heard that something bad has happened to the gang leader in the eastern region." "So?" Chen Zhao was confused by Ethan's abrupt conversation. "Have you forgotten? He was your client. You even said that his man had pointed a gun at your head." "Oh, is it? I don't think this has anything to do with me. I don't even know the name of that gang leader. How I wish these bastards can just all die outside, Zhao said calmly. He did not want to leak anything, even if it was Ethan. I heard that it's due to internal conflict. I'm not interested in this. Do you know any rumors about women instead? I only want to warn you to stay away from those people should they come and find you. Why would they find me? Zhao said, smiling. I hope not too. They're in deep trouble this time. The best outcome will be for them to die in some unknown corner. Zhao did not ask for the details. It had nothing to do with him anyway. Furthermore, if he asked more, Ethan might start to suspect him. Although Zhao did not like Marguerite and the rest, he did not want to betray them either. He also did not know which side Ethan was on. Oh, pass me some tissue. Some butter has dripped on my shirt. Here you go. 20 cents. God, you're still the same. Zhao heard a voice from his back. It was a woman in her 50s. At that moment Zhao saw the woman. He could not help but avoid her stare. Similarly, Ethan also looked away at once. The woman was wearing a white shirt and an unzipped black jobwear on top, a simple below-the-knee dress, and a pair of high-heeled shoes. Her hair was tied into a bun, and she had a pair of framed glasses on, but no other makeup. Her domineering attitude almost made Zhao suffocate. Hi, madam. You are? You look scared. Are you scared of me? Yes, you're scared of me, just like most men when they see me for the first time. Caprice, Chen is my friend. Ethan, did you grow fat again? With your current age and body size, I believe you have high blood pressure. Oh yeah, when we divorced, you already needed medicine to maintain it. How are you now? Can you still get hard? Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it in front of your friend. Caprice's face was filled with apology. You must be Chen. Just pretend you didn't hear me just now. Nevertheless, because you're Ethan's friend, I will subconsciously think that you're the same kind of person as him. Actually, I'm not very close to him either. Ethan was speechless. She was Ethan's ex-wife, a harsh woman. Zhao understood at once why Ethan would divorce with her. There was certainly no man in the world who could tolerate her. What kind of business are you doing with Ethan? Thief and robbery? Blackmailing? Drugs? Or forcing Eastern European women to sell their bodies? Ethan, do you do these? Chen, don't listen to her nonsense, and also don't be tricked by her. She's always trying to put me in jail. I've never wanted you to go to jail, Caprice said with a serious face. Do you think I'll believe your words? Ethan sneered. No, I want to send you to the gallows. Jail isn't sufficient to stop your genes from being passed on. Caprice's face suddenly turned ferocious. My son is gay because of your genes. You damn jerk. You shouldn't have existed in this world. You should only be rotting away in some dirty sewers. Your blood also flows in Robio's body. You're his mother. Why are you so certain that he's gay because of me? You're his father, so you're the responsible one. He came out through your womb, so you're the real culprit. The real culprit is you and your dirty, obscene thoughts. You're the sinner. I declare you guilty. Go to hell. According to genetics, a child actually inherits genes from his or her father and mother with the same probability. Zhao explained to them some knowledge on genetics at the most inappropriate time. Chapter 64, Paranormal Activity. Chapter 64, Paranormal Activity. Chris drove behind Nance, staying about 60 to 70 feet away. There weren't many cars on the road, but Nance didn't notice her following him. Looking at Nance through the window, it could be seen that he was talking to someone while driving. He kept moving toward the shotgun seat, and his mouth seemed to be moving. Was there someone there? There shouldn't be one. At least, she couldn't see anyone from the back. It wasn't possible unless the person wasn't as tall as the seat or was a kid. This was impossible, though. She'd been following Nance the entire time, but Nance never stopped. No one came on midway either. Nance's behavior was just very strange. Suddenly, a car from the other direction drove past with far headlights. When the lights shone over, Chris felt her vision blurring. The next moment, she saw a woman's figure sitting beside Nance. The woman turned and looked at Chris. How is there a woman in Nance's car? Chris looked again, but she was gone. Did she see it wrong? Or was she blocked by the seat again? Chris felt unsettled. A bad feeling shrouded her heart. Where's the car? Where did it go? Whoosh. Suddenly, Chris heard breathing behind her. Light flashed in her rearview mirror, and there seemed to be a woman sitting in the back seat. Chris twisted the steering wheel in fear. Thud. The car crashed and Chris' forehead started bleeding. Thankfully, she hadn't been driving fast and it didn't cause a car accident. However, she'd run into the taxi in the other lane. Damn it. Get out of the car, asshole. You know how to drive? Hearing the angry roars, Chris could only unbuckle her seatbelt. When she saw the taxi driver, she said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. How much is it? I'll pay you. I knew it's a woman driver. Vincent yelled, gesticulating madly. You dented my car door. $300. Chris was pissed. If you want $300 just for that scratch, why don't you go rob a bank instead? She thought. No way am I giving you $300. I'll give you $100 at most. You know that it'll cost $100 just to go into the repair shop? Don't drive on the road if you can't pay. You scratched my car last time. You might run someone over next time, you know? Vincent's words were too infuriating. Anger burned inside Chris. She'd already been close to losing control of her emotions and broke down after getting yelled at. Thud. Motherfucker, say that again. I'm gonna rip your mouth off. B*TCH, you think I'm scared? I don't care if you're a girl. I'll hit you until not even your mother can recognize you. All right, Vincent. Zhao finally came out of the car. Hello, Chris. We meet again. You're that guy from yesterday. Chris didn't have a deep impression of Zhao. After all, Zhao was only one of the countless people who asked for her number. She remembered that Zhao had given her a business card with only his number, but she'd already tossed that out. Vincent, it's just a small scratch, and you asked for $300? I think it'll be better if you go rob a bank. Seeing Zhao's eyes, Vincent immediately looked away. Fine, because of you. I'll just take $200. Nothing less. Hand it over. Chris glanced at the scratch. She was thinking this number too, but the problem was that she didn't bring money. I didn't bring that much money. Can I give it to you some other time? Americans were used to using credit cards. Most people wouldn't have more than $100 in cash with them. I don't know you. How do I know if you're lying? Give me the money now. Vincent, I'll give you the money. How can I let you do that? Chris grew troubled. It's no big deal. You can pay me back. Sure. Chris didn't like owing people, but she really couldn't find $200 right now. She didn't even have that in her bank. I'll pay you back when I have money. You can pay me whenever you wish. But can I have your number? Oh, right. Chris took out her phone and they exchanged numbers. Then, goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, right. Your back seat. Whoosh. Vincent had already started the engine and Zhao lost his temper. Vincent, can't you see that I'm trying to flirt? Chen, you already know enough pretty girls. You should control yourself. As he thought about random stuff, Zhao arrived at Rutherford's home. He rang the bell and the door cracked open. But when Zhao saw Rutherford, he was shocked. Rutherford, you? Rutherford's face was covered in bruises. His white tee was covered in blood. Come in. Rutherford's voice was very weak. Zhao caught the wavering Rutherford as soon as he entered and helped the man to the sofa. Let's sit on the ground so we don't dirty the sofa, Rutherford said. It's expensive to clean it. You're still worried about that now? I lost my job, so I have to care. Plus, I can only give you $200 at most. Your injuries look like you were beaten up. Yeah. I broke into the club's office and made a scene. They fired me. So you can't do track anymore? I can. I'm still an athlete, but there needs to be a club willing to sign me. Can you race as an individual? Yes. Professional athletes aren't decided by the club. It's an identity given to me by the association. My national rank last year was pretty good. I was in the top 20. Usually, my points after 3 races should get me into top 15. With that score, I can attend some first-class national races, but now I don't even have money for surgery. How many years have you worked for? How come you don't have any savings? Do you know how much my nutritious meals cost? The standard is $200 per day. The club would pay for 60% of it before. Now, I can't even feed myself. How much can you make from a first-class race? It depends on the host, organizers, and sponsors. Usually, the champion should get anywhere around $50K to $100K. Second and third place should be between $10 to $30K. If you win, all the money will go to the athlete, right? And no, you need to split it with the coach and club. Usually, the coach gets 5%, the manager gets 5 to 10%, and the club takes 20 to 30%. What? You want to switch careers? To be honest, Asians have no advantage in track. Plus, with your body and fitness, you aren't suitable for track. Chapter 93, Investment for the Future. Chapter 93, Investment for the Future. Normally there are two types of sprinters. The first type is short sprinters who are no taller than 1.8 meters. Their leg muscles are stronger and their running pace is faster. The other type is tall sprinters whose limbs are also longer. Their pace is slower, but every step they take will cover significantly more distance than short sprinters. Zhao clearly did not belong to either of these two types. He was quite tall, over 1.8 meters to be precise, but his limbs were shorter than normal athletes. Even if his body was as strong as an athlete, he would still be unable to take part in track and field, especially sprinting. Of course, he had never thought of becoming an athlete anyway. Zhao liked his current life. It was fruitful but also filled with free time. On the other hand, athletes had to be serious and train themselves until exhaustion every single day. Furthermore, Zhao's age was no longer suitable for an athlete. He was only interested in the prize, nothing more. How about international competition, like the Star Invitational you talked about? The prize for the Star Invitational actually isn't that high, at most 200,000. In fact, the prize for some Star Invitationals is not even as high as those first-class national competitions. The main purpose of taking part in Star Invitationals is to gain points in IAAF and increase our popularity. Only then will we have the chance to be supported by national sponsors or get more money. Then how about Diamond League and Golden League? Diamond League. I can't take part in that even if I'm in my best condition. I don't have enough points and my national ranking isn't high enough, so I can't qualify. I can of course buy an entry quota, but I can't afford it. As for Golden League, that's the final goal of every runner. Its importance even exceeds the Olympics. If you win Golden League, how much will you get? Stop joking. I wouldn't be able to enter Golden League in my entire life, let alone getting first. My best timing for 100 meters so far is only 9.95 seconds. I'm not confident of getting first even in first or second-class national competitions, not to mention Golden League, unless you break the legs of every other participant. With my current record, even if I enter Golden League, I wouldn't be able to promote. I'm asking about the prize. I'm not sure. Golden League is not a single competition, but rather many rounds. The prize for getting first in any one of them is at least hundreds of thousands. This is only the prize for the competition. If you include money from the sponsor and advertisers, I think it can even reach 2 million. If I heal your legs and help you get back to your best condition, maybe even stronger, and at the same time sponsor you for various competitions, will you give me some of your prize money? What do you mean? What the words mean? I'm investing in you, Zhao replied. You're a doctor and I believe you can heal my legs, but are you sure you know what investing in me means? Even after I recover, I still have to rent a training ground, hire a coach, train myself, and eat nutritious meals, which sum to at least $20,000 every month. Moreover, you wouldn't be able to see any results in just 1 or 2 months. Before we even talk about the prize money, your own money will probably be wasted. Although it's an investment, I believe that your results will be good. I'm placing a bet on your future. What do you think? I'll cover all your costs over the next 2 years, and I want 40% of all your income in these 2 years. Fine. Even if you're being serious, 40% is too high. It's impossible. You're only like my health consultant. I can give you at most 10%, nothing more. 10%? I'll spend $20,000 on you every month. Can you promise that your monthly income will exceed $200,000? Let me see. 2 years. I need to invest $480,000, which means you need to earn at least $4,800,000 in 2 years for me to not make a loss. Do you think I'm a fool? 40% is too high. Even if I find a club, it'll take at most 20%, maybe even less. Moreover, it'll only take that percentage of my prize, not my total income, but you want 40% of my total income. Fine. You reject my offer, you can just pretend that I've said nothing. 25%. I'll give you 25% of my total income. 30%. Anything less, and you can forget it. Provided you can make my results better. If you can make me qualify for Golden League, I'll accept this percentage. Of course. I have a way to boost your performance. You mean drugs? Rufford's expression changed. Of course. Not. Don't worry. I'll just make you stronger. Deal. When do we sign the contract? We don't need one. Are you not afraid that I'll go back on my words? I don't like to sign any forms of contract, but I believe that we're both men of our words. Am I right? How long do I need before I can stand on the track again? I need to perform a more comprehensive checkup on you, and then decide on your treatment plan before we can talk about recovering. Mr. Board, I'm not kidding. In fact, I'm telling you this with a very serious attitude. It's not a prank, not a joke, and not a story. David stared at Board with a serious expression. Wait, so you mean my daughter will be attacked by an evil spirit? The smile on Board's face slowly disappeared. Yes, and not just one. Perhaps 10, or more, David said. Also, the hospital will definitely not be our main battlefield. Standing beside David, Sienna continued, maybe there's many souls hiding in this hospital already. They'll be affected by your daughter's soul and become evil spirits. Why? Board was still somewhat suspicious. Did Aisha do something wrong? No, she's done nothing wrong. It's just that she's born extraordinary and she needs to face the trials of life and death. She's already passed death trial and is about to face life trial. If she passes it, she'll obtain unimaginable powers, but if she doesn't, she'll never wake up. It's not a joke? No. I still trust Chen more. Mr. Police, can you call him? I want to ask him myself. Compared to Sienna, Board was more willing to believe in the man who had found his wife and daughter. Mr. Board, I tried calling him just now, but his phone was off. I need to think about it. Sienna glanced at the clock hanging on the wall. We don't have much longer. It's almost 10 p.m. After 10, evil spirits might start appearing, and this will continue until 1 in the morning. Miss Sienna, are you sure they'll appear tonight? Absolutely, and it might be more dangerous than anything I've seen before, Sienna said with a serious tone. Chapter 94. Chased by Evil Spirits. Chapter 94. Chased by Evil Spirits. Why? David and Board both looked at Sienna. Because it's the third night, Sienna said. What third night? Every spiritualist will fall unconscious when going through the life trial. If they're attacked on the first night, then they are one of the chosen. If it's the second night, then they are the extraordinary. The third night, they are of the Holy Spirit. Of course, each day that passes means that the trial will be more difficult. Miss Sienna, what night were you attacked? The first night. Most spiritualists are like this. I was saved by an old gypsy who became my teacher. So if Aisha survives tonight, she'll have superpowers. Board was afraid but also a bit excited. No. What do you mean by saying she's of the Holy Spirit? Like Jesus. You're saying my daughter is Jesus? Of course not. But it's the same principle. But Jesus is a dude, David said doubtfully. He's different. How? How do I know? Sienna rolled her eyes. Board couldn't decide, making Sienna lose her patience. You better decide soon. It'll be 10 o'clock in a few minutes. By then, it'll actually be dangerous. But you want to take my daughter out of the hospital. But where are you taking her? The church? No. No. Board immediately yelled. Definitely not. Why? Don't you know what my daughter and wife experienced before? Do you know? They were raped, and that damn monster stuffed them into a box and buried them under the oak tree by the church. Now you want to take my daughter to a church? Don't even think about it. We don't have to go to that church. Just leave the city to somewhere with less people. And why? David asked, confused. If there's fewer people, then there are fewer dead people. There's a lower possibility of evil spirits too. That woman may attract evil spirits from a larger region, but even if they can sense her, it'll still take time to catch up to her. So this is safe?
No.
Sienna shook her head. It's just relatively safer. This way, we can avoid most evil spirits. What about the rest? David asked, gulping. Suddenly, the light in the hospital's hallway dimmed. She's here. Sienna's expression changed. She suddenly took a sharp awl out of her pocket and slammed it into the wall. A distorted face appeared on the wall. It seemed to be wailing, but there was no sound. David and Board went pale with terror, but Sienna acted like she did something casual. Do you see this? It's just a minor character. There'll be more of these things attacking my daughter? Yes, more terrifying ones. Hurry and take my daughter away. Board wouldn't give in until the last moment. He'd been hesitant earlier, but now he agreed wholeheartedly. Wait, what about my wife? She was kidnapped with Aisha, and they went through the same things. Will she also? No, your wife won't, Sienna said. Don't get unrelated people involved. Your wife shouldn't come. You shouldn't come either. Your daughter and I are enough. No way, Board said determinedly. Even if I believe you, I won't let you take my daughter away. That's impossible. I'm a police officer. Protecting citizens is my duty, David also said when Sienna made him leave. Sienna knew what David was thinking right now. This was something from dreams. He was inside a supernatural event now. How could he give it up? Is there something like holy water? Or garlic? David asked with enthusiasm. He didn't feel any danger at all. He was just excited from being in something like an intense game. Please, officer. It's about my daughter's life right now. Maybe we need a cross? Board added. Enough. I'm a witch, not a religious priest. If you think that's more useful, you can go find a priest to drive out the demon. Okay. We'll listen to you, but you can't kick us out. Take the girl out of the hospital. The three moved quickly. Board placed his daughter on a wheelchair. He was going to pack up her clothes, but Sienna stopped her. It wasn't necessary. If Aisha could survive these 3 hours, she would be safe. Board did the discharge paperwork without telling his wife. Get in my car, David said while tossing his keys to Sienna. We won't be bothered even if we speed. Why are you giving me the keys? I can't drive. Board and David were both shocked. How could someone in this world not know how to drive? It was as shocking as finding an illiterate person in China. In China, some of the older generation might not be able to read, but there were practically no illiterates in the younger generation. America was a country where the driver's license could be used as an ID card. One could imagine how common driving was here. In the end, David sat in the driver's seat and shot out of the hospital in the police car. Clunk. Slow down. You want us to crash? Why is the car shaking so hard? Is there an evil spirit? Motherfucker. You didn't slow down on the speed bump. Board roared. If you can't drive, let me do it. I don't want my daughter to die in a tragic car crash before the evil spirit gets to her. Miss Sienna told me to drive faster. But you can't. I don't think it's fast enough. Sienna looked in the back. Something's chasing behind us. Behind us? There's nothing there. Don't you see the car with red headlights? Damn it. They changed the headlights red? I should give him a ticket. Plus, his exhaust is obviously excessive. Look at that black smoke. David's professionalism was acting up. It's not a modification. It's an evil spirit. Can't you see that there's no driver? David and Board finally realized that something was wrong with that car. Chapter 95, Mr. Board's mouth is cursed. Chapter 95. Mr. Board's mouth is cursed. Moreover, the black smoke was coming out from the windows, not the exhaust pipes. The vehicle behind us is filled with evil spirits. We better lose them. Why did they attach themselves to the vehicle instead of fly towards us? Because they're not fast enough. How fast do you think they are? Most of them are only slightly faster than humans. So if they don't have a car, they can never reach us. I said most. A minority of them are actually the most dangerous ones. What will they do? I think it's better for you not to know it, or you'll have nightmares. Bang! The car was bumped by the vehicle from the back. Both David and Board were horrified. David tried his best to maintain the stability of the car. Sienna, think of something. Exorcise the spirits from that car. I can't, unless you can make it stop. Otherwise, I'll be run over after I alight. You're a witch. How can you die from a car accident? I'm not Superwoman, you fool. Stop saying these kinds of stupid things. So we can't do anything now? Lose the car? Here goes nothing. David stomped on the accelerator and the car shot forward. Board and Sienna were both flung to the back of their seats. The acceleration was too sudden, and they were not ready for it yet. There were not many cars on the road at the moment, but racing through the city at such a high speed still greatly frightened Board and Sienna. Slower. Slower. See? We've lost them. David hit the horn in complacence. From the rear mirror, he could no longer see the spirit-occupied car. Lucky for us. If those evil spirits had a truck instead of a small car, the collision just now would have turned us over, Board said, patting his own chest. Beep. An ear-piercing beep exploded on the night roads. The faces of all the three paled at once. They saw a vehicle with a strange red light appear behind them. Those who have watched Transformers should all know how Optimus Prime looks like in his vehicle state. A similar truck was chasing the three at the moment. Faster! Faster! Go! Accelerate! Board and Sienna both screamed in horror. It was indeed terrifying to be chased by such a giant. A gentle kiss from the truck would absolutely turn the police car into a piece of junk. David stepped on the accelerator again. Slash! The police car bolted forward, losing the truck behind it gradually. Lucky for us. As long as this car works fine, the truck can't reach us, Board remarked, looking at the truck behind. Just then, the car slowed down. Why re we slowing down? Air. It's out of petrol. Why? The car stopped. David shouted, Run? The truck was already right behind them. Board carried Aisha and charged out of the car. In the next instant, the truck collided with the car, which flew for at least 10 meters. 1 second slower, and they would all be crushed into nothingness. The truck stopped somewhere not far from them. Because the road was too narrow, it could not turn around. Suddenly, Sienna dashed towards the truck while muttering something in her mouth. Then, she waved her hand and sprinkled a handful of fluorescent powder. Alarming howls were released from the black smoke. It looked as if something was about to break out of the smoke and leap towards Sienna. However, when it touched the fluorescent powder floating in the air, it immediately retreated. God of Zuma, listen to my call. May your power fall and burn the evil before us. Right away, the fluorescent powder ignited in midair, blasting the smoke away. Done. The evil spirits here are gone. It's over, Board and David asked, confused. These are only the pawns. The real danger has yet to come. What do we do now? Onto this truck? The seats in the truck were broader and more comfortable than those in the police car. David continued to be the driver, but there was clearly more excitement than horror on his face. I hope that this truck isn't going to run out of petrol. Before long, the truck slowly stopped. David and Sienna stared at Board, who was petrified. Really? Mr. Board, has your mouth been cursed? Sienna also tapped her own forehead. She had never been this unlucky. What do we do now? What else? Find another car, Sienna said, looking painful. How? Sienna scanned around her and took out a stacking doll from her pocket. Opening the head of the doll, a wave of black smoke flew out. David and Borde subconsciously stepped back as the smoke looked familiar. It looked like the evil spirits they had just encountered. The black smoke converged into a ferocious and frightening ghost face. Haha, two delicious souls. Slap. Stop scaring them. Sienna slapped onto the ghost face. Let me introduce him to you. My father, Yberg. He. Evil spirit. But now he's my evil spirit servant. He's not going to devour our souls, is he? Nope. Dad, go and get control of a car. We're escaping from danger now. Yberg unhappily floated to a car by the roadside. Soon, the headlights of the car were lit with red light. Please don't pick a car without petrol. This car's out of petrol. Let's choose another one. Yberg floated out again. Mr. Borde, please don't speak for the rest of our journey. I can confirm that your mouth is cursed. Finally, Yberg found them an SUV. The group boarded the car again. David was about to sit onto the driver's seat when Yberg's ghost face roared fiercely, "Scram! I haven't driven for 10 years already." David looked at Sienna in fright. Sienna only shrugged her shoulders. Let him drive. If I summon him out and do not fulfill his wishes at all, he'll be mad. Yberg drove the car in much excitement and Sienna did not seem to be bothered. However, David and Borde could not remain calm. Nobody could remain calm after knowing that an evil spirit was driving the car they were on. More importantly, the ordinary SUV felt like an F1 vehicle in Yberg's hands. Miss Sienna, can you please ask your father to drive more slowly? Do you know what his occupation was before his death? What? Racer? Borde asked, uncertain. Bingo. He was an Isle of Man TT racer. Luckily, he's not an F1 racer, Borde said, patting his chest. He died on an F1 racing track. Chapter 96, Sienna's father is good at seeking trouble too. Chapter 96, Sienna's father is good at seeking trouble too. Mr. Borde, I think you should stop talking, David said, still frightened. He's crazy. He searched for death his entire life and finally succeeded. Low-altitude parachuting, mountain climbing without safety ropes, deep-sea scuba diving, downhill skiing, and even the Isle of Man TT. He tried it all. Formula One was his last challenge. The finish line was right before his eyes, but he didn't make it. His race car had a problem. It turned and fell apart while his skull crashed against the safety barrier. Sienna glanced at Yberg. And after that, at least one driver would have an accident on that F1 track each race. The Lock's track of death? David asked, surprised. You know about it? I heard about it before. David swallowed heavily. The most dangerous racetrack in the world. The death rate is close to the Isle of Man TT. Before I found him, he'd already haunted that place for 6 years, killing 13 drivers. David and Borde both shuddered, staring at Yberg in terror. Yberg turned at the perfect timing and smiled. The menacing face was nothing but horrifying. Are you sure he won't eat our souls? Evil spirits can't eat a living soul directly. Good. But I can make the car drive down the cliff. Then I can eat your soul. I want to get out. All right. Yberg, stop scaring them. Miss Sienna, are you sure your father won't drive the car down the cliff? Yes. He won't do it as long as I'm in the car. Why? He's my subordinate. David gathered his courage and reached over to touch Yberg's body. The car immediately started skidding. Sienna grabbed David. You want to die? What? I can't touch him. Evil spirits don't have solid forms. If you touch him, his body will disintegrate. Just like what happened, the car will lose control before he can regroup. It seems like we've escaped from danger with Mr. Yberg driving, Borde said. No, I can feel that danger is approaching, Yberg said. It's not just one. One of them might be even more evil than me. He suddenly grabbed the steering wheel. The car skidded, but turned with an extreme angle. It was like a roller coaster for the 3 humans in the car. David was already screaming in fear. Yberg, is it? Just then, the street lamps dimmed one by one. It was as if a shadow was catching up to them. Something's chasing us. Suddenly, David felt like he couldn't breathe. A pair of hands were around his neck, pushing him into the seat. Save me. Sienna immediately took out her awl and stabbed into the seat cushion behind David. The cushion exploded and David escaped from the throttling. Miss Sienna, what is going on? An evil spirit got into the car. What? Didn't you say that evil spirits can't attack someone directly? It didn't attack you directly, Sienna said. You were choking yourself. What? I choked myself? David, you really were. I thought you were doing something. What's wrong with me? You were affected by that evil spirit, but I took care of it. They can control our minds. Not all of them, Sienna said. Every evil spirit is unique. What's your father's special ability? Driving, Sienna answered. That's a special ability? I was talking about those abilities like an X-Man. Driving like a crazy man, Sienna answered harshly. Isn't there a cooler ability? Scaring people. David was so done. Driving? Who couldn't drive? And scaring people? What the fuck? Isn't there a more useful ability? Hey, are you looking down on me? Yberg turned around again. This time, he turned his neck at a 90-degree angle, making David's scalp go numb. Old man, can you not do this? I know you're scaring people, but it's actually super scary. Mr. Yberg, don't you need to keep your eyes on the road? No, I know where to drive to. Suddenly, the car shook and Sienna's expression changed again. Oh no, another evil spirit got into the car. The car kept swaying unsteadily. Yberg controlled the steering wheel, using all his might to stable the car and keep it from turning over. If this continued, it was only a matter of time before a crash. Sienna, think of something. Yberg yelled. I'm losing control. Sienna looked at David. Did you bring a gun? Yes. Give it to me. Huh. As a cop, he instinctively wanted to refuse, but then he remembered that it was a special circumstance. Hesitating, he asked, What are you going to do? A gun can't hurt evil spirits, right? Ordinary bullets can't, Sienna said. She took out a small bag filled with shining powder. What's that? I saw you drive out evil spirits with that earlier. The main ingredient is phosphor. Phosphor? Oh my God. It'll explode when it touches the air. You want to kill us? Don't worry. I used a spell and it's magical phosphor now. Sienna grabbed David's gun and poured some of the phosphor into it. Then she closed her eyes. Holding the gun, she started moving slowly. David and Borde both got into fetal positions out of fear. Boom, boom. Sienna fired at the hood and back seat. Then she put the gun down. Killed another one. Miss Sienna, please don't close your eyes when you shoot, David yelled in fright. That's really dangerous. There's people here. Yeah, Borde also yelled. Even if you don't hit anyone, if you hit a part of the car or the gas tank, MFF? David covered Borde's mouth, but it was too late. Sienna, you really did hit the gas tank. The gas is draining. Out. Get out the car. Everyone hurried out of the car. David opened the wheelchair and Borde placed Aisha in. What do we do now? Run. Run forward. Sienna was already running. Huh. Run with all your might. Don't look back. But David couldn't stop himself from looking back. He saw a huge black cloud of smoke covering the sky behind him. Yberg was beside him. Sienna, put me away. Hurry, put me away. I don't want to get mixed with those things. Chapter 97, Sienna's Family Reunion. Chapter 97, Sienna's Family Reunion. Sienna took out the container from earlier and closed Yberg in it. Then, she took out a different container and opened it. Another cloud of smoke was released. This time, it was a female evil spirit. Her body was bloated, and she was at least twice as big as Yberg. Maria, help us stop the evil spirits behind. You little bitch. Are you trying to kill me? I'm your mom after all. Do you think I can battle a mixture of so many evil spirits? Quickly put me back. I don't want to die again, or I'll really have nothing left. As they ran wildly, Borde and David both turned their heads and looked at Sienna, who was similarly charging forward. She's your mom? Yes. Also your evil spirit servant? Yes. So both your dad and mom are your evil spirit servants? Yes. You like to turn your family members' souls into evil spirit servants. I had no other choice, given that they had already turned into evil spirits. It's either this or destroy them. Just then, an evil spirit pounced towards the group. Although Maria was bloated, she was exceptionally agile. She opened her mouth wide and took in a deep breath, sucking the evil spirit in. As David and Borde pushed the wheelchair, panting, they also looked curiously at Maria. They realized that Maria's body seemed to have become slightly bigger. David asked curiously, "Is this your mom's ability?" Maria opened her mouth, showing all her yellow and black teeth. "She's the most fierce type of evil spirit and also my trump card," Sienna explained. "How did she die?" "She offended a gang and was forced to eat 40 kilograms of food. Stuffed to death," Sienna replied. "After she died, she gnawed all the people involved until their bodies were bloody and mutilated. Didn't you say that evil spirits can't harm people directly? That's why she's the most fierce type?" Sienna glanced at Maria. "Maria, you don't have to defeat that evil spirit mixture. Just stop them for 30 minutes. 30 minutes? I can't even do 1 minute. How many evil spirits are there? Perhaps everything in this city. There's an evil spirit inside which is as fierce as me." Just then, an enormous evil spirit charged out from the mixture. Maria was already quite large, about twice the size of a normal adult, but she only looked like a kid before this evil spirit. 5 meters tall, the evil spirit roared wildly. The giant evil spirit raised its hand and pressed Maria onto the ground. "Miss Sienna, aren't you going to help your mom?" "Don't mind her. I only want her to make some time for us." "But her situation doesn't look good. She's the most fierce type of evil spirit. Wouldn't be defeated so easily." Sienna was totally confident in Maria, and no worry could be heard in her tone. "Is the relationship between you and your mom very bad? Will you like a woman who sold her 9-year-old daughter to a gang? Is that giant evil spirit also a human before?" Borde clearly did not want to continue on this topic. Despite its appearance, it's only slightly stronger than ordinary evil spirits. Maria is just pretending. She's always like this, despicable and shameless, but just when you think you can ignore her, she'll charge up and bite you without hesitation. Just then, Maria caught up with the group again. "Little bitch, how dare you speak of me behind my back? One day, I'll break free from your binding and then, before that, you better be obedient. I've already eaten 2 evil spirits. I can't eat anymore. Exercise a bit first and eat later. Don't you always want to break free of my binding? This is your chance. The more you eat, the earlier you can get rid of me." They seemed to be as incompatible as fire and water. David and Borde ran as fast as they could, but they were already very tired, both physically and mentally. Another evil spirit leaped towards them. Maria, who had just claimed to be too full, grabbed the spirit with her fat hand and stuffed it into her mouth. "I'm so full." Maria's body became bigger again. "Well, Ms. Maria, eat enough evil spirits, break free from your control, and then eat all of us?" Borde asked in horror. David stared at Borde in anger. "Nobody will think you're mute if you don't speak." As Sienna ran, she took out Maria's stacking doll. She realized that the stacking doll had some cracks on it. Turning her head, Sienna saw Maria grab 2 more evil spirits and stuff them into her mouth. "Why do I feel that she'll be our biggest trouble?" Borde also turned his head around. Crack! The stacking doll in Sienna's hand shattered completely. Sienna opened her mouth. "Your mouth is way too toxic. Little bitch, stand still. I'm going to eat you alive." Maria also felt it when the stacking doll was shattered. Her binding was broken completely. Now, she was free. Sienna took out another stacking doll and released an evil spirit. It was a white-haired old man. "Let me guess. Your grandfather?" Sienna said to the old man. "Stop, Maria. Cough." "Maria," the old man said. Maria bumped into the old man, who disappeared straight away. However, shortly afterwards, the old man appeared before her again. Maria, listen to me. Scram, you two old codgers. Maria slapped her hand forward, and the old man disappeared again. Give me 10 minutes. No, just 1 minute. Listen. Scram. Maria did not give any face to the old man at all. She exhaled and blew the old man away once again. Panting, David asked, He's? Talking spirit. What's that? Talcoholic. Do you have a more normal evil spirit servant? I haven't summoned my grandmother. Do you want to see her? Forget it. Subconsciously, Borde and David felt that Sienna's grandmother was no normal evil spirit too. Nonetheless, they had to admit that the talcoholic old man indeed managed to slow Maria down. Can he never be killed? Borde asked. Suddenly, the old man appeared beside the three. Gasping for air, he said, No, I can't take it any longer. I'm going back. You're all going to die. At the moment, Maria looked just like a mountain made up of flesh. She charged wildly towards the group. Sienna threw her ritual implement all towards Maria. The ritual implement flew into the air. Suddenly, it turned into a python and coiled around Maria. Wow! David and Borde stopped and looked at Maria and the huge snake in surprise. Don't stop. Keep running, Sienna shouted. Chapter 98, Crazy Maria. Chapter 98, Crazy Maria. Borde and David finally remembered that they were running for their lives. What's that? A magic spell? That's the illusion of the snake of desire, but it can only delay Maria for a moment. The mixed evil spirits behind is the most terrifying. Do you have another trump card? Like your grandma? No, I only have 3 evil spirit servants. I thought you'd have your entire family. My grandma is a witch too. If she becomes an evil spirit, that'll be scary. I'm not powerful enough to make her submit to me. Where are we now? Borde asked. It looks like the entrance to a small town, Sienna said. We can't go in. It seems to be Mountain Town. Chen lives here. That doesn't matter, Sienna said. That man can't help us. He's just deadweight too. But can we even turn back? David pointed to the mixed evil spirits hurrying over a few 100 feet away. They seem slower now, but why do I feel like they're even scarier now? This is their celebration, Sienna answered. They're eating each other. This isn't a good sign. David suddenly took out a key. When Chen left that day, he gave me this key. He said that if we're in danger and can't contact him, we can hide in his basement. You believe him? I believe Chen, David said firmly. You must know if we really hide into that basement, we won't have any way to turn back. We don't have a way to turn back now. We can't go far on foot. Plus, we don't have any more strength. Take us to that Asian's house, Sienna finally decided. Knock, knock, knock. Hearing the knocks, Feilai rose up from the sofa. Is that asshole back? She muttered to herself, upset. He didn't bring his key. When she opened the door, she saw strangers instead, 2 men and a woman. They seemed to be running for their lives. There was an unconscious girl in a wheelchair too. You are? Are you Chen's girlfriend? No, I'm his roommate. Are you his friends? Yes, please take us to the basement, David said anxiously. Chen doesn't let me into the basement. We agreed to it. We have his permission, David said. I have the key. I don't think there's a lock to the basement. Why would you need a key? Let's not talk now. Time is short. Take us to the basement. Wait, you're really Chen's friends? Yes. Is he not home? He's not, so I can't let you in. Feilai was still guarded against these people. Fuck, the call won't go through. David yelled in panic. You can't run. Offer your souls. Maria had already reached the door. She held the magical all that Sienna had used. Who's this girl? Is she your friend too? She's huge. Feilai looked at Maria behind everyone with a doubtful expression. Sienna smacked Maria's face with the bag of magical phosphor. When the phosphor touched Maria, It exploded immediately. "Ah, I'm going to kill you all." Colorful flames flared up on Maria's body. It was a terrifying sight. "You!" Phalai was dumb with shock. Were these people criminals? The next moment, Maria stood up again. The flames were still burning. Her menacing and twisted face and huge physique made her look even more frightening. Sienna pushed Phalai aside. "The basement. What is that? What is that?" "An evil spirit. Where's the basement?" "Under the stairs." Phalai followed the group. They reached the basement and pulled the door. "No lock?" Go in, Sienna urged. They reached the basement and turned on the light. There were some medical tools and books. "This can't stop Maria at all, let alone the mixed evil spirits," Sienna said. "We were tricked. That Asian wants to trick us." "Hey, there's another door here." David saw another door in the wall. Borde went up to look. "There's a keyhole here." David reached over and pulled it. The door opened, but there was a wall behind it. Nothing else. Just then, a bunch of noises came from outside the basement. Everyone grew more nervous. Maria, or those even scarier things, had already entered the house. Sienna looked at the door and the keyhole on it. "No, this is a concealed magic door." "What?" Everyone looked at her in confusion. "Close the door and put the key in." David moved and twisted the key. Crack. A damp feeling seeped out of the door, making everyone shudder. Is there something hidden behind it?" Borde asked in fear. "Scratch." Just then, everyone heard something like scratches behind the door. David looked at Borde and then Sienna. "Do I open it?" If Borde hadn't spoken, Sienna wouldn't have hesitated. But now? Huff, huff. They all heard heaving breathing behind the door. It definitely wasn't a human's breaths. It was more like some huge creature breathing. But while they were still hesitating, Maria's head already poked into the basement. The menacing and scarred face appeared before them all. "I found you all, hee. Wait, why can't I come in?" Maria was too big, so she couldn't squeeze inside the door. "Can't evil spirits go through walls?" David whispered. "It might have something to do with this door. We opened it and changed the environment." "Thank God she can't change like clay," Borde said, patting his chest. Maria forced her way in, and her body was indeed like clay. Everyone stared at Borde. Rather than the terrifying Maria, they hated Borde more. Okay, I know. I'll shut up." "You can't escape anymore? My dear Sienna, don't worry. I'll leave you to the last. I'll protect you carefully, just like when you were little." "Sienna, do you have any other spells? Use them now." Chapter 99. The Amateur Spiritualist is Back. Chapter 99. The Amateur Spiritualist is Back. Sienna smiled bitterly. "If I have any other trump card, I wouldn't have kept it till now. So, do we open this door? Are you sure the monster behind the door wouldn't eat us? Maybe it's with us?" Maria had almost managed to stuff her body into the basement. Suddenly, however, her movement stopped. Maria tried to turn her head around, but her body blocked the entire door. "What's that? You bastard! Stop touching me." Clearly enraged, Maria attempted to kick away the thing that was touching her. However, the next moment, a painful look appeared on her face. Everyone discovered Maria's unusual behavior. Her expression changed from agony to horror as she held on to the basement door with all her might. "Sienna, save me! Save me!" Maria was totally terrified. "Save me!" Just then, Maria was pulled out of the basement by some kind of force, along with the basement door. She had used more than 10 minutes to stuff half her body into the basement, but she was dragged out in less than a second. Then, everyone heard Maria's extremely tragic screams from above. The entire process was unbelievably quick. In just a few seconds, Maria's screaming disappeared. The whole place fell into a deafening silence. What was that? Must be the mixture of evil spirits. Sienna was unsure as well. Clack, clack. Footsteps were heard from outside the basement. Then, an amiable figure appeared at the basement entrance. Hi everyone. Looks like I'm a bit late. With their eyes widened in surprise, everyone stared at Chen Zhao who had just appeared. Fortunately, you haven't opened this door. Chen Zhao walked into the basement and pulled out the key on the magic door. Eastern. You? Chen, it's great to see you. David hugged Chen Zhao in excitement. Where's Maria? And the group of evil spirits? Sienna looked at Chen Zhao in disbelief. Worry no more. They're not there anymore, Chen Zhao answered with a light tone. What do you mean by not there? Have you already exorcised them? That's not possible. There were hundreds of evil spirits, many of which were powerfully inauspicious. Compared to being saved suddenly, Sienna was more unwilling to accept the guess that Chen Zhao had actually eliminated all the evil spirits. Huh. Suddenly, Aisha, who was lying on the wheelchair, gave out a soft sound. Aisha, you're awake? Borde shouted in pure delight. Dad, where are we? Sienna frowned and looked at the time. It's not 1 in the morning yet. Is it over already? Let's go out. Are you planning to stay in the basement for the entire night? When Feilai walked out of the basement, she saw a mess in the living room. Chen, I want you to explain what's happening. And who are they? Chen Zhao sat on a sofa. It was the only sofa that was intact in the living room. Didn't you see it for yourself? What do you want me to explain? How did you eliminate Maria? How did you dispel those evil spirits? You can't have possibly done it. Fine. I didn't do it. Happy? Can you leave my house now? Chen, can I stay here tonight? David was clearly too scared to walk outside in the dark again. Mr. Chen, you're not going to let me carry Aisha back at this late hour, are you? Borde's reason was very convincing as well. How about you, Ms.? Sienna was somewhat hesitant. I'm staying too. I have many questions to ask you. Sorry, but I'm not obliged to answer your questions. Mr. Borde, you can sleep in the guest room with your daughter and also use my towel. There's some disposable toiletries in the restroom, but no clothes. Thank you. You've saved my daughter twice. Thank you. It's fine. I didn't do much anyway. Dad, what's happening? Are we not going home? Cuddled in Borde's arms, Aisha looked very clear-headed, as if she had already totally recovered. Chen, where do I sleep? David asked, moving towards Chen Zhao. If you don't have enough rooms, I don't mind sharing one with another person. As he spoke, he turned his head and looked at Sienna. Here. Chen Zhao pointed at the floor. Living room? You must be kidding, right? I'm tired. Good night. Chen Zhao turned around and walked away. Wait, Feilai pulled Chen Zhao. You can't leave before explaining everything to me. You've already seen both what you should have and what you shouldn't have. What else do you want to know? What's hidden in the basement? I mean behind that door. I think I've told you that this house is haunted, right? Are there really ghosts here? As long as you don't open that door for no reason, the thing inside wouldn't come out. At least don't open it in my absence. Everyone swallowed their saliva as they unleashed their imagination to the fullest. After Borde brought his daughter to the room, everyone started taking turns to wash themselves. Then, either casually wearing pajamas or half-naked, they sat in the living room and started chatting. Soon, Borde, who had put his daughter to sleep, also came out. He seemed to be much more relaxed. The group formed a circle, drinking beers and eating snacks. Chen, I really have to thank you this time. Of course, thanks to Ms. Sienna too for your hard work. I don't want to speak about this again. I'm a doctor. Being a spiritualist is only my part-time job. Even if you are considered an amateur, then what am I as a professional witch? Are you a witch? Feilai looked at Sienna, her eyes glowing. Yes, here's my name card. If you need things like eliminating spirits or summoning your ancestors, you can call me. Oh, I also sell magic potions. Sienna immediately gave Feilai a name card. Or even divination. I can contact a diviner for you. Do you teach magic? I want to learn magic too. I can't. You don't have the talents. Chen, can you do a checkup for my daughter? I'm worried that she would have a sequela. I can do that, but I wouldn't be able to help with any mental injuries. I'm not a psychologist. Also, there will be a charge. Air. How much will that be? I just lost my job recently. $800 for the checkup. Also, I only accept cash and there wouldn't be a receipt. I don't have a license. You're an illegal doctor? David asked in surprise. What, you want to arrest me? Please, why would I arrest you? You're not in my charge anyway. David rolled his eyes. $800 for a checkup? Why is it so expensive? You don't even have 100? Chapter 100, Lab Rat. Chapter 100, Lab Rat. I don't have much savings. Americans didn't have the habit of saving money. They encouraged spending first and then using their salary to pay off their credit cards. All right, I'll do it for free this time. Zhao pursed his lips. He would just be a good man to the end. Oh, what did you used to do? I'm a personal trainer, but I didn't go to work for many days because my wife and daughter were kidnapped. I got fired. What do you teach? Fitness and safety. I have a certificate. Great. I have a client who's a track runner. He doesn't have a club though. Can you train him? Of course. Of course I can. Great. I'll give you his card. When you contact him, tell him I introduced you. He won't be able to give much money now because he was just hurt. Board wouldn't complain. He needed a boss now. It didn't matter if the salary wasn't that high. Okay, you all should go to sleep, Zhao said, standing up. David, you can sleep in my room. What about you? Instead of replying, Zhao went straight to the basement and locked the door. Everyone fell silent before going to their rooms to sleep. Zhao and Rutherford had made an agreement. He would sponsor Rutherford, so in addition to fixing his leg, Zhao would also try and improve his performance. Zhao remembered that the Demon Medical Book had mentioned a medicine that could improve a person's physical fitness. The ingredients for the medicine didn't seem too complex either. More importantly, the main ingredient was the demonic crystal. This happened to be what Zhao had more than enough of. However, he had to find some of the other items in hell. Of course, going back and forth between hell was too costly. He had to sacrifice 100 souls for Beelzebub's true form to summon Zhao. It was more cost-efficient to buy from Raz. His prices were higher than the original price, but Zhao had no choice but to buy from him. Chen, I just helped you kill 238 evil spirits. You owe me 283 years' worth of demonic crystals. I'll pay you back when I can. Zhao couldn't produce so many demonic crystals right now. To be honest, he felt like he had sustained great losses this time. He'd thought that there were only 10 or 20 evil spirits attacking the girl, and he could totally take that. He didn't expect to pay so much at once. However, he still had a complete perfect crystal. He'd gotten it from saving people from the fire last time. He also had some miscellaneous demonic crystals that added up to 20 years. In addition, he had small amounts of perfect crystal powder. It was leftovers from polishing the first perfect crystal. Zhao didn't summon Raz directly. Instead, he had Beelzebub act as the messenger and have Raz bring the things over. 20 vines of Emmons, 1 year's worth of demonic crystals, 5 soul-eater eyeballs, 1 year's worth of demonic crystals. Zhao bought a lot of each ingredient and used demonic crystals to pay for them all. Raz loved doing business with Zhao. After all, none of his customers before would pay with demonic crystals. They mostly bartered. Only this living being paid him with demonic crystals. The things he sold weren't unique to him either. Zhao could get it from many other demons. Thus, he never acted sloppily when he did business with Zhao. He would give extra too. Most respected living lord, here is everything you need. Please check. No need. I trust you. Of course, this was just polite talk. Zhao would still count everything after Raz left. He wished Raz would miss something, so he could have an advantage next time. After Raz left, Zhao entered the lab and tried making the medicine. Extract the liquid from the vines of Emmons and pour it onto the petal of the rootless flower. Grind the rootless flower and pour in water from the river of death. After working the entire night, Zhao created the medicine. A bottle of purple liquid. It was obviously not normal medicine. It looked like it was boiling, but it was actually room temperature. Chen Zhao dipped a finger in and tasted it. It didn't have any taste. He wondered how effective it was. He had to find a human or animal to experiment on before Rutherford's leg was healed. Beelzebub and the others wouldn't work, since this medicine was only effective on living beings. Chen Zhao suddenly thought of David. He ran out of the basement and pushed open his bedroom door. It was 6 a.m., and Chen Zhao lifted the sleeping David. "David, get up." "Chen, what time is it?" David rubbed his eyes and looked at the clock hanging on the wall. "Oh my God, it's only 6. Let me sleep." "Drink this. Breakfast?" "Thanks." David tossed the medicine into his mouth without even looking and then went back to sleep. However, he soon felt pain in his arm. He opened his eyes again and saw Chen Zhao taking his blood with a syringe. "Chun, what are you doing?" "Nothing, just a checkup. Go back to sleep." "Wait, are you experimenting on me?" He was suddenly awake. "I remember you gave me something to drink. I don't think it was breakfast." "It's something I just invented," Chen Zhao said. "It can improve your physical fitness." "Improve my fitness?" "Yes." "Can it turn me into Superman?" "No." "Then what will it do?" "I don't know. I need to test your blood." "Okay, you can sleep without worry now." "Wait, how can I sleep without worry? Does your medicine have any side effects?" "Definitely no. Don't worry." Chen Zhao's meaningful smile made David unable to calm down. "Really? Really? I'm still not assured." "Then get up and test the effect. To be honest, it's my first time making the medicine." "First time giving it to a human? You didn't do any clinical tests?" "I did. You're my clinical patient." "Can I cuss?" You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.